Listen, babe. Oh, yeah. It's alright, alright, alright. 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 Listen, babe. Oh, yeah. It's alright, alright, alright.
Hey, welcome back, welcome
Popping,
back.
just popping.
We have another fun class. Actually, maybe I want to move it in a different direction. I think after last week's class, we got really deep. And I don't think we were unnecessarily deep, but I think we became, we kind of went further than normal. But I think it's, there's an argument, and we'll get into this a little later, but this is an argument that if you don't understand the game, you really can't see the game, right? And I think that it's necessary to expose people to alternative belief systems and different ways of seeing reality. What it does is it kind of empowers people to open their mind up and stop seeing themselves as flawed or, school kind of fucks you up because it kind of tells you if you didn't pass a certain test, then you don't deserve to be here. And I think a lot of our people have been beaten up so bad with the idea that they're not good enough and not realizing that they just never been taught the real game to play. And a lot of the people that, there was an argument from this Jewish dude who said, for a lot of black people who've been impacted by systemic slavery, a lot of people who you may say are hard workers could have been big CEOs of companies. They were playing a different game. But they don't know they have to play a different game, right? We just don't know. And we've been fed a game our whole life that we just didn't know anything different, right? We were working with, side note, I think before I continue this thought, today let's do something different. Let's open the class up to questions out the gate. I want folks, we'll talk about a couple of things, but I want folks to ask questions about class, about business, about personal challenges, make comments even, right? But I want this particular class to be a check-in class. We're gonna stop and check in with everybody and see how they're doing. We wanna take some time and hear from the class, some challenges they're going through. This class is because we've been online since it's midway into COVID, we don't have a healthy feedback loop, right? We're kind of fishing for feedback. And you're no greater than your feedback loop. You're really not. You need you need feedback. I mean, to kind of give you guys an idea how powerful feedback is, let's say you grab a basketball and you bounce it and you grab it and you shoot it into a net. You receive so many layers of feedback that lets you know to try it again. But if feedback is delayed or is sparse, then your reality is distorted. And I think us up here teaching, there's a sense of, I don't know about you, but I feel somewhat, I feel like I'm in a fog sometimes. Because, we had a room full of 60 people. Hold on a second. Although we had 60 people in the room, we also had, and we had people online, the 60 people often provided us with feedback, whether it was through their body movements, the things they said, that, I don't know about that shit right there, Nana. Challenging us, right? And the healthy dance that we engaged in helped us day by day, week by week, improve the class. And I think what's happening is that it's starting to put me in this weird position where I feel like I'm leading as opposed to serving, right? We signed up, me and you both, and everybody that's part of Hope have signed up to impact our community. We've all, that's the glue that holds us together. And when you don't hear from the community, then you wonder, well, am I serving you well? I don't want to lead you because I don't want to suggest my reality is your reality. I want to hear your different reality and show you how to make your reality work. Everybody doesn't have to be a copy and paste of me or you. Everybody is an excellent copy and paste of themselves, but there's some adjustments that have to happen, right? For example, a common adjustment that we experience in business is when you first start business, you start business for yourself. I want to be successful so I can take care of my family, so I can retire, or I can finally be who I want to be. But once you get into business, you realize you can't do that anymore. It has to be about we. Take care of other people. I has to disappear. Because if you stay focused on I, you can't service, the customer. You have to start focusing on the customer over self. Not to the point of self-destruction. There's a balanced game to this. But you have to shift from I to we. Even this business journey, it's not about chasing money. It's not about chasing money. It's about growing relationships and having impact in this world, and money happens to be one of the benefits of that journey. When you focus on transactions, you often lose focus on what makes those transactions happen. If your relationships are rich, you'll never be poor. You'll always be wealthy. But if you have a lot of money and you have weak relationships, your wealth is fragile. One fall, and it's it, baby. It's it. And so relationships and people and impact and change and society, those things mean way more than dollars in your bank account. Because it will eventually result in that, right? But I think with the poor, often we don't realize the wealth we have, and often we trade the wealth we have for the wealth we think we want, realizing that we're actually trading wealth for poverty. Because when you start canceling relationships for money, you're actually putting yourself in the poorhouse, not the rich house, right? It doesn't mean that relationships mean that you have to become a slave to a relationship. Somebody's abusive, that somebody's trying to slow you down, somebody's holding you back, somebody's not progressive, somebody that doesn't align with your views. But it also means that as you show up to people, you show up to people, right? Mm-hmm. And so we need that feedback. We need that feedback. We need to hear some of the challenges you're going through. A lot of people came to this class looking for a quick solution. Somebody told them that there's no process. Just come up with something real quick, and then things are going to work out. And it doesn't work like that, right? It's a lot of hard work. Once you decide you want to be exceptional at something, you're signing up for hard work. You're not signing up for luck. Even if you get it through luck, your ability to keep it and maintain it and sustain it is close to zero. The hard work is what qualifies you to keep it and continue to grow it. Think about this. We think about $1 million or $2 million or even $20 million as a one hit. If I gave you $20 million at the age of 18 and that's all the money you can ever have, you're going to be broke in no time. It's about, can you make more money continuously, right? Are you constantly making money? And I think where we get things wrong is that we're so busy shooting for a number, we don't realize that what we're looking for is a flow. Do you have a flow? And do you protect that flow? And what is required to protect that flow, right? And if you're walking through society doing good, being ethical, showing up for people, it's almost like, I hate to say this sounds crazy because, once again, I'm not a Christian, even though I strongly believe in the Bible, but I'm not a Christian. But it's almost like Christ was teaching people how to be successful. And they don't even know it.
True story.
Right? Because he was like, how do you serve God? It's by serving your brothers. I would translate that, serving your brothers and sisters from my perspective. I may be a horrible translator, and all the theologians don't screech at me, but by serving your brothers and sisters, right? If you ask me how you become successful, I would say the same thing, right? And a lot of those values and how you move in this world, and I think the reason the Bible is so poorly understood, I had a partner of mine call me and said, man, the Bible's full of contradictions. I said, well, no, I think you're full of contradictions. And he said, what do you mean? I said, look, dude, I'm not the lawyer for the Bible. I'm not John Burris of the Bible. I said, but let me make this argument here. Your level of consciousness is not equipped to understand that level of teaching. A lot of us have enslaved simplistic thinking, and we're trying to read a book that has layers of complexity. And I think the reason that book is so misunderstood is because we're trying to take our poverty mindset, our limited thinking, our simple mental models, and trying to process this complex material. And I think that we underserve the material because we're simple. And we're simple because we're victims of slavery, Jim Crow, and the crack era. That shit, the crack era is so devastating to black folks, it's insane. Right? I mean, it set us back so far. Crack era set us back so far, it's almost heartbreaking. Even in the streets, it set us back so far. Go back to the streets before crack and the streets after crack. Whole different world. I mean, on every layer from the bottom to the top, everything translates different from the crack era. So you take that mindset that comes from that. Poor education. I ain't talking about like 1 + 1 is 2. I'm talking about exposure to how things work in this world and how you can show up in that space. And then you put a book like the Bible in front of them and you expect them to really be able to understand that book? It's almost close, because like, I'm not a minister at all, so don't y'all keep me with no minister stuff. And don't you be putting no sound effects of ministry in the background either, Marquita. But it's almost like you got to grow to understand that book. The growth is a personal responsibility to understand. Otherwise, you're just reading words on a wall and you're just giving it your own meaning. You're projecting on it. And I think that's the truth for a lot of the great books that were written. They weren't written for the simple, just for you just to walk in. Like they have low-hanging fruit built into all these books. Like, hey, here's some basic. Here's 10 commandments. Just stay with these 10, man. I don't know what the hell to tell you, man. Just take your dumb ass and sit down with 10 commandments, right? But the reality is that that book is way complex.
Yeah. It's about content and context.
Yeah.
So if you can't read the Bible through the content and the context, then a lot of times we're just left with content. And then if you try to regurgitate the context through your own filter, through your own pain and struggles, and then it's going to come out sounding just like your pain.
Yeah. There you go. Hey, that's well said. That's what and y'all might say, well, wait. I don't remember my pastor saying that. First of all, I'm not going to touch that. Second of all, because I could go there, but I'm not. Second of all is that, but that's what we do as human beings, period. When we see something in the news, we don't watch the news and then properly engage. But we have so many flaws that's built into our thinking. Like our brain, our brain really can't handle randomness at all. Like our brain wants to make us believe that we really do control everything. But if you go back to the idea of a feedback loop, which is feedback loops are random. Like if I tell you, hey man, how many feedback loops have affected you? If you answer that question, you don't know. You should say, I don't know. Because there's so many random feedbacks that your brain is taking in. Like right now when I'm talking, I'm hearing my voice from my mouth as well as the speakers. I'm watching the sisters in the crowd, right? I'm looking at you. All that's feedback. Now, that's shaping the way my brain is processing and showing up organically to that space. And you have so many variations of that through your life, right? But if I ask you, hey, tell me how you became successful, you start to manufacture some bullshit. Well, this happened and this happened and this happened. Do you know how much stuff you just left out? So if I copied and paste what you just said, and I wonder why when I make my recipe, it doesn't taste the same, because you just made that shit up. Because you really can't answer that question. Like, if you're going to teach success, you got to teach principles that can actually exist in a world that's random. You can't teach hardcore tactics that rely upon everything going perfectly the way you expect, right? It just doesn't work that way. Like, it's a lifestyle and discipline. It's like somebody saying, hey, Jordan, I saw you won 6 championships. I want to win the next championship. Tell me exactly what you did so you can win the next 10. That's stupid. You'll be like, well, the team you playing is opposite. The coach is opposite. Your coach is opposite. Your ownership is opposite. The floor is opposite. The lighting's opposite. The media is opposite. There's so many different variations that just doesn't apply. So if somebody's always like, I'm reading all these business books about how to dribble basketball to score 35 points, I'm passing out on you. And a lot of people are like taking these courses all the time, like, yo, the 6 steps and the 12 steps, and like, that shit's bullshit. So in this class, I'm trying to teach these principles that's so much deeper that allows you to show up to different variants and even know when to just sit down and go, I don't know. As opposed to this false sense of confidence because your need for certainty, having you run and make these poor decisions because you're copying what you think is success, not realizing that that's a bad model to copy. That there has to be a certain degree of, like when you listen to a lot of people, there's certain principles and ideas that you have to understand how, based upon, these are some principles of life, and you should be aware of them, right? Also, you should do a thing called postmortem. Every time you make a decision in your life, go back and reflect on that decision if it goes right or wrong, right and wrong. And say to yourself, what happened? And the more you start seeing commonalities, it will help you make better decisions and raise your statistics. It doesn't mean you're going to make perfect decisions, but you can increase your percentage of decisions. You're improving your decision making, right? But this whole idea of perfect information helping us make perfect decisions, guaranteeing success, is an absolute illusion. It's an illusion, right? So, yeah, I'm rambling. You know, sometimes I go there. Sometimes I get caught in these ideas and thoughts, and I can go too far. So I'm gonna stop there. So yeah, let's open up the forum to questions. I don't care where they're coming from. Comments. Could be questions about the class, questions about business, questions about personal life, questions about personal challenges, questions about things that, like, you know, why are we doing this? Why are we teaching this or that or the other in the class? Whatever it is, let's just open up the class to those type of questions. And I want to check in with everybody. How are they doing? What are they struggling with? What are your challenges? What are your frustrations? Were you fired up in January? September now, you're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, what's going on? So get out of this. Let's make this class about you guys. And then if it stalls, we have some ego stuff we can talk about. So let's go for it. You got anything yet? No. Nothing yet? We do the typical, hey, what's up, how you doing? Hey, girl. I want somebody to get on there one day like, you owe me some money. I would crack the fuck up. Okay. Well, tell you what, we can jump into Eagles and Enemy, and then we'll come back and open up to just questions. But let's just keep somebody keep emailing and texting into the group that we'll open the floor to questions today. Any questions people may have.
Hey, I got something too. On that page, I got to experience some dope shit over the weekend. Basketball related, but it usually translates. I go to a lot of camps throughout the year who are taught by different levels of ex-athlete, right? Some is the kid who the older guy who never made it, but he has all these drills and shit that he has the kids doing that that may or may not work because he never made it, but they look good or like they look fancy. You have camps ran by ex-college players that are you can feel the energy is different. It's a higher level. You know, you can tell it's more simplistic because it translates into real game time situations. I've been to camps ran by ex-pro players, which are even higher level. But I got an opportunity to co-sponsor a camp that was ran by an ex-Hall of Famer NBA player.
Oh, wow.
And you see even the distinction between him and everybody else, even the pros, because he'd say, I don't, my thing as a player, I didn't want to be great. I wanted to be a Hall of Famer. And there's a difference. Great players and Hall of Famers have different work ethics, which I was like, shit. And the game he was given was shit I've never heard before. Never. And I've been to tons of this shit for the last 15 years, but I've never been to a camp ran by a Hall of Fame ex-Hall of Fame NBA player. And you know what he said?
What's that?
He was like, look, here's the real shit. Because it was the top camp for the top 100 guards in the nation. So it was a camp for the top guards in the nation. He's like, look, all y'all are here for a reason. Y'all the best players in the country. So I can line this all up and say, hey, let's make best out of 10 free throws. And pretty much all you motherfuckers will make 10 out of 10. But what separates somebody who's not going to make it to a person who's going to college, a person who's going to pro, and a person like me who's a Hall of Famer? What separates us? He's like, it ain't the drills. It ain't the physical shit. It's your decisions, and it's how you think. I was like, here we go, Hope class. Go ahead, Hope class. Teach the Hope class then, right? He like, it's about the way you think. I'm 6'3", you 6'9". He's like, the shortest kid in here, it was one kid who was like 6'2". He's like, the way things are evolving as kids and people are growing and evolving, this is a point guard camp. I was a 6'3" point guard, and the shortest kid in here outside of you was like 6'5".
Oh, wow.
And how much you weigh? He was like 180. He was like, man, at your age, I was 120. He's like, so the game's changed, but I guarantee I'll light every one of y'all asses up. Why? Because I train my mind more than I train my body, my decisions, how I think.
Wow.
He's like, so when you guys run these drills, ask why or what's the decision, what's the thinking, because situations are going to be different at all times. You'll never be in a situation where I can say, if this happens, you do this. But if I teach you how to think, so he's like, this camp is going to be more thinking. You guys are to be doing the physical shit, but I'm going to be going from station to station in your head, like, why'd you do that? What's going on? What's your thinking? This is how you think in this situation. And I was like, damn. I wish more people got to experience. So those kids got to experience that nobody else did. So now they got to level up with that information, and now they walking away with it, and any kid could benefit from it. Yeah. But it was huge, and it applies to this. It's like, that's why we don't teach, like, if, A plus B equals this, D plus C equals this, because situations change. A plus B might equal F in the situation, but it's the rhythm that we teach in the thinking, how to think, so oh shit, A plus B equals nothing in this situation because I know how to read it, and there's too much ego in the space, so fuck it, I'm out. And that's, I think, once you realize the beauty of that and not so much try to look for the recipes, because like you said, the fucking the how-tos and the self-helps, those are all just flames, they're starter packs, but they do not think that is the formula for your movement. You know what I'm saying? It's the thinking process, because at a certain point, we all gonna have basic skills, meaning translating that. We'll all be able to shoot 10 out of 10 if we practice hard enough. That's just easy. That's easy at a certain point. It's hard work. So it's the thinking.
That summarizes hope really, really well. Yeah. I've seen what self-help does to people. It gets you really fucking excited, makes you feel like you're about to go do some shit. And then you go outside your house and you realize it is chaos. Like, they may teach you how to drive on a clean, empty road by yourself. And then all of a sudden, you get in business and you're on a 20-lane Autobahn. And you realize, what the fuck? You just taught me how to drive down the street. What the fuck is this? Right? And you seeing cars like blow up from a horrible accident, and you're like, fuck, I don't know. Where's the train at? Where's the jobs at? Right? And why are you thinking that way is because the self-help wasn't designed to help you navigate into the system. It's designed to help you get off your couch.
That's it.
That's self-help courses.
Yeah.
If you listen to all those courses, you step back, they're already saying, get up off the couch, get up off the couch, get up off the couch.
Yep.
And so then you would think the self-help course is a business course. It's not a business course. A business coach is also, like, a lot of times you meet a business coach, most business coaches can't help you navigate deep inside. They help you stay motivated. That's what business coach does. They help you stay motivated and they help you think, they help you process your own thoughts. But they're not really designed to help you think about strategy. If you ever pay attention to like even the .com trends, a lot of the people that help a lot of .com people are people who have businesses and venture capitalists. That's the people who are really advising most .coms. The coaches are there just to kind of help you process a moment, but they're not there for strategical guidance. I think the challenge we have for black folks is that we're like trying to teach people about water in a desert. You know, it's like our communities are deserts when it comes to, it's not like, okay, there's entrepreneurs all over the place that are black, and you see all different levels from high to low. So as soon as we see some kind of money, we're getting our knowledge of business from like television, right? Or, yeah, television and internet. We're not getting it from like firsthand engagement. And I think that sometimes, like, I think when we shock people in this class, it's because they're trying to translate us from their model of reality, and their model of reality just doesn't fit this model of reality. There's a certain amount of free man talk that we use that comes off as harsh, but it's not. Because the world's fucking harsh. Right? It's like, you know, COVID got us distorted on death. But imagine, COVID is worse than influenza by far. But imagine if every time somebody died from influenza, they told every story. It'd be devastating. Right? COVID is a disease that we're gonna, I'm not sure where we're gonna go with this, because I don't think that decision has been answered. But it's making us to a point that we don't want to see one life lost. However, we can accept numerous lives being lost in our own community. Because we know black on black crime is high as fuck, right? Yet, if you watch the news, they tell us you should respond to this. First, okay, a cop could kill one black person, but 400 black people could die, 400 to 700 black people could die in Chicago, and they don't even get close to the same response. It's like this weird distortion of reality, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, hope is just, we're not trying to flood your time with do's and don'ts. And if we could just teach you how to think different, you could come with your own do's and don'ts. Come with your own recipes. I'm trying to make you guys chefs. I'm not trying to make you guys what they call the sous chefs.
Yeah. Hey, and mind you, most of y'all know, I didn't have this circle when I started out.
No,
there was
shit.
nobody around. I just unplugged from my matrix, which is my street hood black culture, because I knew I wanted something different. So I dove straight into self-help. It wasn't nowhere else to go. I had nothing else. So I just immersed myself in it. I read every fucking book. I went to all the fucking seminars, or went all the shit, all the bullshit. And at the end of the day, what it's good for is the bottom two levels of that pyramid that we used to teach. The sentence of effectiveness, right? Motivation and inspiration. Anything beyond that, or if you're expecting anything beyond that, you're going to setting you up for fail. Be motivated, be inspired to let you know it's possible for you. You can do it. Get your ass up. You want to keep living like you living, motherfucker? How is that working out for you? Fuck it, I hate it. All right, well, get your ass up. It's possible. Let's do it. Now let me show you how to do it. It's womp after that. Because those things, you have to get in there, experience, and learn the skill. They're going to take your money. I didn't got by tens and tens of thousands, many tens of thousands, probably close to 100 over the last 15 years of doing shit like that. Now, you might be like, well, you a millionaire now, you got bread now. Yes, but you have to attribute that to me going hard, period, and learning, period. And that's just a casualty of me doing everything, including that. You know what I'm saying? Because once you learn, after a course of time, it all gets repetitive. All those dudes it's almost like they learn from the same school.
Yeah.
Because you'll start hearing the same shit.
Yeah. Go ahead. Just fire the mic up. Is it on? Is the microphone on? Okay. Turn the microphone up because I can't hear a microphone. Just a microphone? Just a second. Hold on a second. Do I need it? Yeah, try the other. Oh, pass the other microphone, because right now it's like everybody thinks I'm listening to a ghost. Give me 1 second. We haven't. They didn't test the other microphones for whatever reason. No, Josh was supposed to be testing sound. He was so busy not testing sound.
I also want to comment on Marquita's outfit. She also banging walking around here.
Yeah.
I don't. It's like fashion show.
Hold on a second. I can check it real quick. I'm checking for my system. 1 second. I got skills. No. Just matter of fact, Court, tell us a story. Real quick.
Oh man, I got way too many.
Hey, look here. We'll forget we in class. We're like, this is the greatest story ever.
I got a sad one. One of my brothers, like you are my brother. He got COVID and is in the hospital on a ventilator right now.
Oh man.
And he when I heard the ventilator part, I cried because I'm like, fuck. But I also hearing that he's getting a little bit better. But Dontrell from the Mechanics, that's like the Dr. Dre of the Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? So just just keep looking out for him. So it's such a
right now. 1 second. Non-accord here. No, okay. Try. Oh, no. Hold on a second. Try it now. We're going to see. Those things are not even on. Things are not even on. The remote wireless is not even on, y'all. So give it a second. I'm turning up everything. I don't want to turn up nothing too much. I showed you turn some stuff up.
Let's talk about all black everything.
There you go.
Test.
There you go. There you go. The microphone was turned off. Josh, please, let's not. Okay? All that talking. Checklist. I want to see a checklist too. All right, go ahead.
So this morning, I was talking to an old CEO of Victoria's Secret. I haven't probably talked to her since she left in 2016. So I ain't talked to her in a while. She happened to see me on LinkedIn and was like, hey, let's connect. What you been doing? Mm-hmm. And I said, do you talk to anybody still from you in connection? She said, oh, I talked to this person. Maggie died, right? I said, what? She said, oh, you didn't know. Maggie died last year. So Maggie was the SVP of our department. She came from Nike, and then she came to Victoria's Secret, and then she left and went back to Nike. And she was on her way walking down to the treadmill to get on the treadmill, and she had a heart attack, and she died early 50s.
Ooh.
Right, so Caucasian woman.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
Susie, she was like, she was under a whole lot of stress. Everybody knew it, right? So she was like, it was just a lot of pressure. That's just that level of leadership. It was a lot of pressure. There's a lot going on. Everybody kind of knew that, and whatever. So she passed, and so for a minute, I felt like, damn, I was so caught off guard that I kind of had to walk around the block. I literally had to walk around the block because I didn't expect it to hit me, but it messed me up. Then I was talking to, I kept talking to Susie, and she was telling me what she's been up to, and she was saying she had started a company, it's product, but one of the things that she wanted to start to really have honest conversation about is she's been a president in a couple of different places, Ralph Lauren, Victoria's Secret, other places. And she said, the amount of stress that I was under was unreal. So much so that all of my pregnancies were really hard. So she was already high level when she started to have children. She was saying how difficult they were. She had really, really strenuous pregnancies. She had a lot of stuff with her hair falling out, a lot of stuff with her skin, just a lot of stuff because it was not taking any time, not getting proper sleep, not doing stuff. Most of these women are slender, so they look, they're not.
They don't look
phys-
like they
They don't
look
look like
in
anything
shape.
is going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But it's funny because Susie is one of the reasons that I kind of felt like I don't know about this thing in corporate America because I used to see her suck down those Starbucks refreshers. This shit has hella caffeine in it. And she used to ask them to put extra fruit. So the fruit is where all the caffeine is in. So she would tell them to do extra fruit. I used to see her up there, and she would drink like 4 or 5 of those a day.
Oh, wow.
And every meeting, I always saw her with one, or her assistant was going to go get her one, and I used to be like, yo, her heart's gonna freaking explode. She lived like that for 3 years, but she told me today, she said, I knew a month after I got there that I was only gonna be there through my contract and I wasn't staying because I knew it wasn't healthy. But we had an interesting conversation about the importance of like sleep, rest, taking care of yourself, what it takes to be at that level of leadership, the kind of pull that has on the body, and how so many of the women there, they're not doing it. What it made me think about was in these companies, they do a lot of learning and development. So crucial conversations, scalability, some of the stuff that we talk about here. But it's always like, you can sign up to take the class and it's up to you to apply it. It doesn't necessarily connect with the culture of the space, none of it, right? And so the thinking doesn't change, and so you might as well not read it because you can't, to the earlier point about the Bible, it doesn't matter the books that they give you. If the thinking is not there to be able to digest that, then it's noise. And which is why most people either stop going to the classes or they go and then they don't apply it and they forget it. But I guess the question that I would have is, I'm thinking about Maggie and her passing away, and even about Susie and about how the body is going to do all these things. The question that I came was like, well, maybe I'm answering my own question, but I'm like, at what point would at what point would you have said, this is not beneficial for me? Because before you have a heart attack, or when your body starts showing signs of breaking down like that, and you just keep going and you keep pushing it no matter what. So when you think about you have to be a thinker, the last thing that we think about sometimes is ourselves. And I know you stress it a lot, but the last thing that we think about is ourselves. And I guess what's my question? I guess my question is, when you're someone who's in that, like, Nana, what do you look at? Because you're always talking, what are you thinking about, or what are you paying attention to when you know that you got to make a pivot because your body is starting to show you signs that this is not sustainable?
Well, a couple things. One,
And how do you make sure you don't blow through that and say, I just need to deal with it?
well, okay, let me say this real quick. A couple things. One, I'm going to post a podcast by a dude named Wall Street Trapper. As a dude, he's courted from New Orleans, straight up. Hood dude to the highest level, brilliant as fuck. He's like a hood nerd. Got into the stock game, but I'm talking about he was deep in the game. Even watched his mother get shot 4 times in front of him at the age of 9, right? So he grew up selling dope his whole life, and then later on started robbing dope dealers, right? But he was saying that at one point when you're out in the streets, you say to yourself, you know the cost everybody has to pay the same cost, freedom of life. Once you accept that, you just process it as just part of the game. So, like Court said, when I was growing up the same way, the rules was, I grew up in East Oakland. I became a square after 30. I started working on my squareship in my 30s. That's why when Shama first met me, I was like always still fighting. By the time I hit 40, I started becoming a real square, right? But my 20s, I like chasing women, and I like to fight. That was just my thing, right? I didn't think I was supposed to live past 25. So I'm saying you can get to a certain level of consciousness where you're willing to trade your life because you don't see your life as valuable like that. That's number one. So that's the game you're playing. And you don't realize it's a wrong game, but it's a fucked up game you're playing. Why I don't play that game today is because I went through layers of conscious growth that I'm teaching this class. And I can share some of them, right? And I'm sure if we sit down, I could probably come up with more. One is I realized I gotta die. When you really process death, I mean like really process, like sit with that shit, that you gotta die. Then you realize a lot of shit you talking don't mean that much. You realize that 3 generations from now, they don't even give a fuck about what I had to say. 3 generations from now, like if you think about 3 generations back, your grandfathers, your father's father's fathers, let's go 4 generations, father. Do you even give a fuck what he thought? Does it even cross your mind? Do you ever sit down and be like, I wish somebody would tell me what great-great-great-grandfather was thinking? Right? We don't know. We sympathize with slavery, but our grandmothers and great-grandfathers was in slavery. Our great-great-great-grandmothers and grandfathers was in slavery. But we don't even process that. We just can't. We almost can't as a human being, the way our brain works. But when you stop and realize you're going to die, and then what is life all about? You have to answer some of these simple questions. When you answer that question, you realize, oh, it ain't about me. But in giving to others, there's a time when sacrifice does make sense. Think about men who fought wars so you could have freedom. They made a sacrifice so you could be here, right? However, you also realize that, is this job really it? What am I doing with this shit? Where am I going with this shit? Right? What kind of lick is this, right? Third thing is that it's like, okay. The other thing I did that was extremely different is I implement, I talked about this beginning class. I believe in exercising, sleeping, and eating correctly, religiously. When I start seeing signs of my slippage, it ain't about business. Because what happened was when we first started Fighting Media, me and Mashama was going all in like the young lady who died. Peace to her soul. But the lady who died, we were going in the same way. And we started underperforming for our clients. Our performance dropped tremendously. Our decision-making became pretty bad. And we developed this, our quality of work even went down. Everything we saw this like, it was like a big-ass weight on our shoulder. We realized our health was part of how we showed up to the world, our brand. And last, I got a little daughter, right? Like, my boy's 14, so he gonna be good, right? He all right. She don't even know the fuck I mean, she know I am. She's 3. She's already trying to make decisions, but she don't really know me, right? How selfish of me to just focus, like my parents, we do this all the time. I'm doing this for my kids. Did they ask for that? What they want the most is for you to be there. And so when I look at all this stuff, all these motivators, and I have a lot more motivators that say, hey, take care of yourself. So when I set appointments with clients, I don't be like, hey, I gotta, whatever they say, okay, you say 7, I'll be there 7, whatever it takes. I'd be like, hey, can we do 11? I don't tell them like, oh, I got a dentist appointment. I used to, when I first started, say, I got a dentist appointment. I had so many doctor's appointments, you would swear to God I was dying, right? But later on, I was just like, oh, can we just do 11, right? Well, I can't do that time. Okay, can we do the next day? Because I'm pretty tight right now. And what I'm really saying is I got to work out. Or I got to eat my lunch. And I literally looked at my schedule and designed my schedule to protect my health, right? And then I think that my closing point will be this too. I'm so pro-black. And this is so important. And what is pro-black? I asked my son the other day, I said, son, what's your purpose? He said, huh? I said, what's your purpose? I don't really have one. I said, yeah, and that's why your life is fucked up right now. Purpose allows you to override all your little emotional feelings. It gets you out of that social justice shit about, you offended me, you didn't use a pronoun. It gets you out of that space of, you didn't acknowledge me, or I gotta like everybody. Like, if we didn't love black people and we weren't fighting, if helping our community wasn't part of our purpose, some of y'all would have made us quit. Man, fuck everything you talking about. You sat in front of me with all that geeky and smiling, all the motherfucking teeth, and you were so underperforming, it made me fucking want to cry. Right? Or you a fucking alcoholic, but you sober every time you talk to me. And then want to judge everybody around you with your broke ass. Anyway, sign up. I'm so pro-black that it's my purpose for being here. Like, everything about me, from my household to every decision I make, there's a pro-black filter where how do I show for black folks, right? I'm talking about from even when I say hi that day, how do I show up for black people? What that does is it makes me override this whole idea that I'm not good enough and I need to prove myself. In corporate America, a lot of people are trying to prove themselves. I can tell anybody, fuck you. Anybody who tries to use that tool of that bait tool of, if you do this, you'll be better. Man, fuck you. I'm good enough already. You kiss my ass, punk. If somebody got offended by that, fuck you too. So my point is this: it's like I got to a point where I don't look for approval and acceptance. I learned to love myself so much. I'm good. I'm good. I don't run around here going, yo, if you don't judge me, if you don't accept me, then I'm not good. If you don't like me, I'm not good. Don't get me wrong. In business, you can't go out there and do what the fuck you want. We are politicking at all times. Like when you're in public, you could be pissed off. Like I could be like, ready to call, let's say you did some really fucked up shit and I'm ready to use the B word in public. I can't. I know that. I can't scream motherfucker in public. You motherfucker. I can't say that in public because at the end of the day, I have to protect my brand. But why am I even willing to go against my own comfort zone sometimes and even apologize when inside I'm thinking, fuck you? It's because I'm doing this because I'm trying to show for black people, not for myself. If I'm showing for Nana, I'm an asshole. I'm a real asshole. But if I'm trying to show for other people, I will write all my asshole. I have asshole thoughts all the time. I be want to tell somebody, fuck you with your punk ass. I don't give a shit if you live or not. That's not the way you talk to people. Hey, I ain't got no control of my face. My face still don't want to agree with nothing I say. But I'm saying I got to a point now, I just practice, and I use my children all the time to practice showing up to people's emotional spaces correctly by like watching myself with them, and then I use them to practice. And because I grew up in a world where no one showed up for our emotional space. He was like, get your shit together. Stop trying to be a little bitch ass and do what you're supposed to do. Like that's how everybody talked to us growing up, right? We came up in a very brisk environment. That's why when I see a lot of social justice people, I see them as bitch ass people because they don't come from my world. My world is like, you're on the streets, you don't tell somebody, hey, before I announce you, how should I say your name first? Lisa, I see your spirit. I feel where you are as a her, she, and I want to respect you first before I ask you, where's my motherfucking money? That's not how we talk, right? We'd be like, you better give my motherfucking money before you get your ass fucked up, right? That's the world I lived in. And I kind of comfortable in that space. My mentor was rough, right? The people I hang around me, like, I love Court, because Court, like, this is my home. I see him, I see blood family, right? I don't have bitch assness in me. But I'm trying to learn how to be around them a little bit better. It's hard on me. Mm-hmm. When it gets really bad, I tell my shaman, you got to take over. It's too much. It's getting high. Because I can't sit there and like, life is so hard. I heard the other day, it just wasn't fair. I heard this article, COVID is showing how unequal men are to women. No shit, fucking Sherlock. And we never will be equal. You know why? Because there's no such thing. There's times you need to be 80, I need to be 20. There's times I need to be 20, you need to be 80. That shit flips. It depends on what the fuck we doing. That whole equality idea in itself is an ideal. So fuck your idea, right? That's how I feel. But now if you ask me in a public forum, which is kind of a public forum, not how you feel about the idea, I'd be like, well, things are different. But in my head, I'd be like, fuck your stupid ass question. So hopefully I didn't make nobody scared to ask me a question.
Hey, let me answer. Let me jump in.
I probably just ruined half the class. Everybody's like, delete. Yeah. Marquita, can you answer this question for us, Marquita?
Hey, let me jump in here because I love the question. Is at the beginning of entrepreneurship, well, let's go before entrepreneurship. You in the hood, you in the streets, and whether or not you taking penitentiary chances or not, you see the futility of life, how it's fleeting, because always funerals, always something popping off, always overdoses, always just random acts of violence. So you get comfortable. Then, if you want to make a better way for yourself, you're willing to take chances on your life, on all kind of shit, and whatever comes with it comes with it. So, if for some of us who are able to survive that, I'll take me for example. I said, I'm going to adopt that mentality. I'm going to take that mentality to be like, shit, if I was willing to risk my life for this street shit, then I'm completely comfortable with going as hard as I fucking can. Like on some get rich or die trying shit, right? Not realizing the flaw in that philosophy. And then, 50 Cent perpetuated it, right? Because it's like, that's one of my... that's kind of where the peak of where I want to be. And so if I'm willing to die to get this low ass street money, then I'm completely 100% willing to die for the big shit. And so that's a flawed thinking. And a lot of times you dive in, you go hard, and that's where the 12, 14, 16, 18-hour work days come in, and the no sleep and the caffeine and the whatever you got to do to stay up and the 3-day in a rows, and then you get rewarded for it.
Actually, you don't. You think you got rewarded for it,
But
they really rewarding the outcome. You just didn't know how to change the way you got to the outcome.
Well, I mean, yes, and when they say low-level minded people, when they say, hey, what's up, what you been up to? Man, I've been grinding, I've been going hard. Yeah. Oh, for real? Yeah, man, I've been going 3 days straight. Yeah. What? You a hustler? Yeah, man, that's a hustler right there. So then you get social currency for going so hard, and now you adopt that and you think success equals that.
That's a myopia too, right?
It's a myopia.
Because like 20 years ago, if you say you was working hard, it was a statement of a poor man. And now it's a statement of a successful man. That shit flipped in my lifetime. So when I was younger, if you I'm working real, real hard, they'd be like, damn, you okay? Like there's the rule is like you don't really grow from a second job. There's no such thing as growing from a second job. Second job is a waste of time. It's always a waste of time. Because when you start trading that much time for money, whatever you're trying to fight for, you're losing by just doing that, right? And so there's this argument has always been if you're working that hard, you're on a losing team. And successful people didn't work as hard. Somehow that shit got flipped.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest shit ever.
Yeah. In the startup culture, it did. So then but the thing is, it starts killing you. It starts killing you internally. It starts killing you. And
It's a slow death.
your body will give you signs. So the thing is, my body started giving me signs. So first thing, I started getting these big ass bags under my eyes that wouldn't go away because that's my body telling me, yo, you tripping, like you tripping. Then I wouldn't listen to that. Fuck that shit. I'll fix that shit later. I'm gonna keep going hard. Then it goes to your physical body starts getting, damn, why? I'm only 36. Why is my heart just beating hella fast? I don't know what the fuck. Let me go smoke some weed. Let me go do these things to numb it until you have an event, right? I call it an event. And that's your body saying, bro, this your second to last chance because you fucking are not listening. And so I've learned to try to, because I have no fear about shit and I don't got no like pain thresholds. So I've learned to like pace myself to try to be 3 steps before the event and be like, oh shit, my body would give me 3 signs. They're small, medium, large. So I'm like, oh shit, I just bumped up against the small sign. Damn, I need to slow down. And I remember calling him last year because I had an event. The fuck is going on with my heart? I call the thing, they're like, yo, you need to come in. That's might be some heart attack shit. And so I go to the hospital, they run tests, that's like, and I realize, oh, that's sign number 1. And I get on the phone with Nana, and I realize, damn, this whole COVID thing, I put myself in Richard Die Trying mode. And now at 45, that shit ain't cute. Like you could croak. You know what I'm saying? You could croak. So I should be wiser in these moments. And that's like, what good is all the wealth you create if you ain't there to do shit with it?
Man.
So
That's the worst thing where you work your ass off and you have no time to spend the money, no time to enjoy it. And by the time you retire, you die. That's fucked up. All right, go ahead.
Question. So I know you guys have been in your businesses for a long time. My question is, when you were starting, and Nana, I've seen you do this a lot too, where it's time to grow your business, but there's so many different ways and paths that you can go to. And when you're first starting, everything looks shiny. You want to do this and this and this and this and this. But my mind is telling me, okay, how do I play it smart and pick the right move to prepare me for the next ones? Because I know that I can't do all the things at once. So my question is if you guys could even think about when you first got started, or even now as you are building your strategies, as you're getting ready to make your next moves, beyond what will make the most money, is there any other thought in your head as you guys are moving forward?
Yeah, a couple. One is how do you avoid the noise? So let me go over some noise avoidance thoughts that cross my mind. One, it's not a job. Improving your business is not going to work. That's the biggest illusion you will go through. Because you think, oh, I just need to go to work and finish a group of tasks and check off some boxes, and I'm going to improve my business by doing more or becoming more aggressive or trying to double up my, like for every 1 step, I'm getting 2 steps. No, right? You got to learn how to build systems that that doesn't require for you to. The key is to build systems that doesn't require for you to work really, really hard. Right? That's number 1. Number 2, stay close to the numbers. Look at your numbers. If you're not selling, you ain't got shit. Don't even let nobody talk to you about this business. You coming up, you doing good. I don't hear if I don't see numbers moving, you ain't got shit. Because the community will reward the low. I'm talking about the bar is set so low for black people that if you make $25, they be like, oh, you got to do some big shit. No, you ain't did a motherfucking thing. 3, do not think selling to family is selling to the market. Family and friends is not the market. Whatever family and friends say, almost take it with a grain of salt. It doesn't mean shit. They have a bias towards you. They can't see past that bias. Just like if you have a baby, you can't, your baby, everybody's personal baby is the most beautiful baby in the world. You can't see past that bias. That's not possible. Your business is another baby. So always look at the numbers and then look at all your actions based upon numbers. Next, relationships. Grow, talk, connect, and engage people. Business is not about being in a room, manufacturing this super secret sauce, and then open up the doors and everybody's outside waiting to grab a piece. It's really about relationships. Look, the reason some people say, hey, I've been in business for 15 years, and if I fall, I'll be back. They're not talking because of all just the knowledge they have. It's because of all the relationships they built. Mm-hmm. Your relationships are your springboards. It's your investment team. It's your support staff. Next move, whatever you do, make society better. This is like a strong way to get relationships you won't even know. These are people who will fall in love with you that you won't even know their name. Make society better. If you make society better, you build this returning customer. Because it's not about customers buying your product once. It's about customers falling in love with your business. That's the energy that will keep you growing, right? And so, you think about like how do you show up in a way that people fall in love with your business because how you show up in society. I got one more, and this is the most complex one. As you're showing up for society, be aware of why you're showing up for society. That why is your brand. So wherever you, like, okay, if you're just selling a product, you in this wild game, and you have low value. If you're just selling a product, but if you're in a game to make the world better, and your product is your tool of how you're going to make the world, or your service is your tool of how you want to impact the world, you don't have to be everything to everybody. It's just, this is my segment of how I'm going to make the world better, right? There might be billions of segments, but this is a segment I chose. If you can build that into every fiber of your business, you will have the dopest branding system ever. Because not only will it impact designs of your products and services, it will impact hiring, it will create motivation, it will control costs, it will drive your external marketing, it will show you how to talk to the world, it will help you figure out all of those small details on how to show up every day. Because the business is about making a lot of small decisions to impact that core decision. And a lot of times those small decisions become fragmented because you don't have something to gel all those decisions together as one. And what gels those decisions as one is what you stand for. So when you start saying, I got choice A, B, and C, okay, I'm a pro-black business. So when things are put on the table, I can make decisions based on A, B, and C. So for example, one of my biggest pet peeves is being late. If I say I'm gonna deliver a product to you on Friday, I need it internally ready by Wednesday, right? So I can try to drop it off on Thursday, right? That's shock because my community is known for kind of dragging, right? But because I'm black, and also I want to show young black people we're not the stigma. We could be whatever the fuck we want to be, right? We just got to manage and design it in. So when I'm making that decision, all that just went into that simple decision. So now my brand consistency starts to fly. And then this is how you could check me. You could come to me later on, Marquette, and be like, "Yo, is this something a black company should be doing?" And I can say, based upon the way I want to show up, yes or no. But now I create this almost internal Bible of how we show up, how we move, how we dress, how we talk to people, how we engage, what we look like, what kind of equipment. Everything is part of this, driven by that core idea. And then when I put out marketing material, it has to feel this way. It has to say this way. It has to show up this way. Where we go wrong is we become transactional focused. And we'll say, Nana, can you come in and design this cute-ass bottle that's going to be hella pretty, that everybody wants to buy, and I just want to put my name on it so people be like, oh, my God, your shit is fly, but it's not connected to anything. So here's the thing. You'll get the bottle and be like, oh, shit, what kind of company is this? I can't wait to call them. And when you call them, I'm chewing gum like, what you want, huh? What you want? Oh, no, nobody going to be here next Wednesday. I told you nobody going to be here. Well, why is she acting like that? Because she hasn't bought into that why that you developed internally. And so you develop these inconsistencies. Or I go to your office, and I bought this beautiful bottle. I go to your office, and that shit look like I wouldn't eat or drink anything out of that office. And you're like, well, I've just been busy. No, because you understand what standard you have to uphold because you don't have anything you stand for. So what you stand for becomes the paint and the art that colors everything in your world.
There's a book by Deepak Chopra, 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Some of y'all probably read it. The law of detachment is a big one when it comes to at the beginning stage because, yes, it feels so myopic, and you get detached and it becomes baby-like. Yeah. Once you learn how to detach from that business, then you can see it like everybody else does. It's an ugly-ass baby. It's an ugly, man, shit. Like you have to have that clarity. And that leads to me, the second one is being able to line up with your feedback loop. Having a feedback loop, but being able to line up with it. So hey, friends and family aside, what do the people think about it? What do my demographic think about it? And if they love it, and I don't know how the fuck I did it, or shit, this is one of 20 things that I put out there, and one of them popped, really digging in to doing the research and figuring out what are the elements, what's the content and context of what I put out that people loved, that I can start expanding out. Because if not, shit, you just playing the lottery with yourself. Playing the lottery. Being curious and humble. Shit, being curious and humble. I call it having acute sensitivity to like paying attention to everything was going on so that you could see the details.
Put your cell phone down when you're outside. When you travel, go talk to strangers.
Yeah. So when you're curious, there's so many elements underneath the surface layer that allows you to create a more richer experience for your customers. Because a lot of times, regardless of how much we preach it, and even if you internally know it, we still want recipes, right? Or we look at the end result of somebody's success and just like start copying. When they say, well, how did you get there? We write it down and go do it. But the truth is there's so many micros under that and you got to be curious to it. Like, oh shit, I never noticed. I didn't pay attention to that. Like those are my three. And then I'll add.
Before you leave curious, let me talk about two roadblocks, because that's such a strong one. This social justice got you fucked up because fairness destroys curious. Being emotional. The first rule of making great decisions is lower your emotions, right? Like, I hear things in the news all the time. They try to hit you with that punch of emotions. He said this. And you're like, what? Right? That's what everything's designed to charge that, right? Get away from that culture. He says this. You should automatically go into like stall, calm down, be like, what could he be right? And then look at why when you have that emotion. Don't demonize that emotion. Don't tell that emotion go away. Pay attention to that emotion. Go, where's this emotion coming from? And you may realize, oh, it's my trauma, or I'm projecting. I don't even know the details, right? Because being curious, I think many people profess in this class since we've been here, oh, I'm curious, now I'm curious. Until I say something you disagree with. Right? And then they'd be like, I don't know about that. No, I know what I know, which, okay, that comment, I know what I know, I'm sure slaves invented that phrase. A non-thinking man only says that. There's no such thing as I know what I know. Mm-hmm. There's no such thing. That is a slave comment. That has to be a carryover from slavery. I see what I see, and I know what I know, and I heard what I heard. Right? Like, I used to say this back in the days, you have to be willing to divorce everything you believe in. You have to be willing. Doesn't mean you're going to. You have to be willing to. And when somebody says something that creates any kind of emotion inside of you, it's a reason for you to then stop and focus and hear. Because I can promise you, if you haven't built a business and you sat down with me and I talked to you about building a business, I should irritate you. If I did not irritate you, either you're hella smart or you're not listening to me. Because I'm going to challenge your very comfort zone of reality and tell you that shit's wrong. Some of the shit's tied to your mama, your grandmother holding you, crying, saying, baby, this is what life is. And tear hit your face. You're like, that's what she said before she croaked. And I tell you, that shit's bullshit. You're like, no, you don't know what you just said to me. I might say, that's some punk ass shit. You're like, no, you know I'm a gay male and punk is very offensive and I really don't want to, I can't listen to nothing else you say from this point on. I'm done. A lot of times the shit you need to hear is on the other side of the fence. And a lot of your little emotional walls and lines in the sand that you've drawn is why you can't get out of your own cage. And so I can't begin to tell you, like, this is where I think this generation is so fucked up. Everybody's so fragile now. Everybody's getting bitched up and they don't see it. Because back in the days, we used to be in circles of people, we didn't disagree with all of, like it'd be like 10 dudes, we all running together. And I'd be like, I don't agree with like 80% of the shit you do. But I fuck with you on the 20%. And we cool with that, right? Now 80%, when you do your 80%, just go over there, and when you finish, you come back and fuck with us, right? But we roll together. It'd be a gay dude in a circle. He cool. He be showing us dance moves. All right, I'm doing like that, but I ain't doing the way you do it, bro. Right? But we cool. We riding, right? This new world, we can't even be friends no more. We don't even get along like that no more because we all too fragile to even hang out without tiptoeing over our work. So instead of me trying to tiptoe, just get the fuck away from me and hang out with Court. Right? But when you guys get around business people, they play such a different game. They have a different language, a different reality, and some of that shit's gonna step on your feet. It's gonna spark your historical trauma. It's gonna bring up that ancestral slavery tone and make you be like, what the fuck you just say to me? And you literally won't hear any word, all the game they're about to give you that can make you like crazy cash. You can't even hear that shit because you stuck on it. What the fuck you just said to me? Hold the fuck up. I've heard people say, I can't take this class. I said, why not? Y'all cuss too much.
Get the fuck up out of here.
Really?
And then they go home and cuss their kids out.
Or they live a fucked up life. So their life is a fucking word, right? Because you just full of fuckery, right? But yet you can't handle profanity. As if I'm saying, now, if I was in here calling women bitches and dudes niggas and hoes, if I was using racial slurs, that's totally different, right? Because then I'm not trying to teach you anything anyway. I'm just trying to fucking offend you, right? The word fuck is a made up profane, because what is it like? It's not, if I'm talking about fucking in class, that'd be inappropriate. But I say, man, what the fuck? You're like, holy Jesus.
But if Gary Vee does it,
yeah, when white people do it, y'all really somehow develop tolerance.
Oh, man, that's-
right?
these are-
And if
these are- that's great.
your supervisor who pays you, $200,000 a year says, "Hey, what the fuck is this?" You're like, "Hey, Michael, hey, I get it, Michael." Right? So the reality is that it's this illusion of, can you even listen to two black men talk to you about business? I want y'all to really trip on how this reality that's in your head, when he says be curious, that was a big ass point. He said it so smoothly because I can testify as a pure, honest to God witness as a close friend of his, he's extremely curious, right? Him and Mashama is probably my two most curious people in my life. I could throw ideas crazy as fuck to them and they'd be like, And they will process it, chew it up, and then deliver it back to me. Most of my friends, if I throw an idea that's crazy as fuck, I get some type of defense mechanism kick in. It's because that's how our culture is set up. We've been taught this whole time, since we've been in this country, we've been primed to block information.
yeah.
So when he says be curious, that means turn the motherfucking emotions down, recognize them, it's healthy, have a healthy relationship with them, but learn to turn them, like a stereo, learn to turn them up and down so you can navigate. You can't keep them up high all the times. If you find yourself arguing with your boyfriend once a week, hollering at your kids once a day or once a week, mad at your job once a week, or any of those above weekly, your emotions are too fucking high. Turn the motherfuckers down and stop blaming the world around you. Radical responsibility will help you turn that shit way the fuck down. Once you start taking responsibility for all the moments you got angry, you realize the majority of those were you. So go ahead.
Yeah, so one more. It's realizing that your best work in your mind right now is going to be like a C in about a year.
You suck.
And then 2 years, you're going to look back and it's going to be a D.
You suck.
3 years, you're going to look back and you're like, damn, that's horrible.
You suck day one.
So
you suck.
right now, you're in this beautiful daydream of you think you're dope and your
Yep,
family
you
and
suck.
friends told
All
you
your
that
shit
it's
suck.
dope and your logo's dope and all this shit and all this. Just understand you're on the starting line and you're going and you got great elements, but as you gain more experience, if you're comfortable with that fact now, you'll ramp up faster.
It's nothing wrong with, okay,
what
Mashama
I'm
said
saying?
it best. It's nothing wrong with being cocky and arrogant when you first start. It's nothing wrong with that. But deep down in your mind, you need to know what he just said. You got to know, at the end of the day, it ain't good enough.
Just down here. You don't have to be like,
Down
hey,
surface,
hey,
yeah.
customer, I know the logo's bad, and I know no.
Don't do that. Don't do that shit like that.
You step up like it's the best shit in the world. You feel you have supreme confidence, but just know that the improve. Just know you're gonna laugh at it later. Like, what the fuck? It's just hella funny. Like, I'm so glad that I believed in it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm open to improvement.
When Josh first met me, I'm gonna share this story with you. And Josh, he came with me, so I can keep telling the story to you. He started building some muscles. You're gonna do a lot of weightlifting before you get over here, boy. But Josh, when he first met me, Josh was a horrible photographer. Horrible. Let me share what Josh said to me the first time he met me. Yeah, I'm just as good as you. Now, many of y'all might not know I used to be a commercial photographer. And I don't shoot it. Marquita didn't know I was. Marquita's like, hey, the photographer said, I'm like, fuck them, I taught these guys, right? So, but anyway, he first came to me, but many of you guys do the exact same thing with your products and services. You guys will go to veterans who've been in the game for 10 or 15 years, and you have no humility. If a veteran ever gives you time and space, fuck who you think you are. Go to 100% student mode. Even if they tell you something that you think you already know, a lot of times you have to master the basics that you have not mastered your first year anyway. You might be better than the people around you, which is a distortion, like you're in a bubble. But when you get out in the real world, you realize you ain't got your basics down. And so if you're amongst a veteran and he started going over your basics, listen for something new. But if you saying, oh, I don't, like this is what happens with me. Most of the time I talk to people, somebody said, no, how come we don't talk to people that's not in hope? I get tired of this. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Me too. Yeah. Me too. Yeah. Me too. And they're like I'm talking to them. I'm giving them all the advice that is specific to their challenge. Yeah. No. Yeah. I was thinking that same thing. Yeah. Yeah. I was doing the same thing.
I know that already.
Here's the funny part.
Right,
so then you kind of make me want to watch your business. I've done this numerous times. Your bank account says you don't know shit. Your sales say you don't know shit. And the check you paid yourself, which the only check you got was the check mark on a piece of paper. There was a sticky mark. That's the only check you ever got. But yet like, dude, the cockiness of feeling like, and you got to remember what's playing into this. You're not an asshole. The brothers who don't listen to me are not assholes. They're not stupid. They're not bad. That's not no nigga shit. Because, we always, that's some shit we say that on right now. None of the above. What's occurring is that person doesn't feel like they're good enough. And I promise you, it's a disease that fills most of our black minds. It's so dominant in our minds. So if he says be curious and you don't feel like you're good enough, oh, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Because you gotta sit in front of me and prove you're valuable while you're asking me, because in the end, you feel like I'm towering over you because you asked me a question, almost as it's a form of reciprocity is going on. And when I answer that question, you got to show that, yeah, you deserve to be here or whatever the fuck you going on in your mind. But what it is you're not listening.
Hey, when we flew back from Seattle that one time, I'm on the plane. This white lady next to me. Small talk. I'm like, all right, fuck it. Let's do the small talk shit. What do you do? Oh, I have a athletic clothing brand named Core Smith, blah, 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 out of Oakland, California. Oh, okay, what's up? What do you do? And I speak with authority and confidence. I'm like, what do you do? She's like, I'm retired. I was senior vice president at Nike. So my whole little conversation changed. Oh, shit. So then when she asks me what's my challenges, I don't give her no surface bullshit because she wants to know. Well, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm going. This is what I want to do. Here's some of my real challenges. This is what's happening. Man, okay, cool. Have you thought about this? No, that's a good-ass idea. Have you thought about this? So we spend an hour giving me real game. Hey, here's my number. Call me anytime. I've been out the game for a few years. I love doing shit like this. What? Hey, what's up? Hey, where you at? I'm in Marin with my kids. I need some help. Okay, I got you. Because there's no posturing or you senior VP at Nike. What the fuck? How I'm going to impress you? Like you Phil Knight's, you can call Phil Knight right now. So I'd rather get game from you. And if I was too, people can read that shit and they don't want to fuck with you when they smell it coming off you. So if you maintain that humble and curious energy, they're going to want to help you. Man, I want to help you. And you have promise, because if you have that energy, that rhythm of I'm always open to learn, improve, but this is what I've accomplished so far, they want to fuck with you because at that point, veterans want to be like, yeah, I used to mentor Nana. Nana used to call me a couple times. I gave him some pointers just to hint that the reason why he's so successful, I had a little bit to do with that. That's just a notch on their veteran shoulder. So, but it has to be a certain kind of energy, though.
Yeah, go ahead. And y'all sitting in the house, y'all got some questions to ask. But Kasha, you, as much as talk as you do online, you're the most quietest person. But everybody online, Kasha's in the house. Y'all know y'all don't see her online as much because she's in class meditating with us every week. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
She is peaceful, like she is pure peace and love.
You want to go? It's a lot.
Well, you just bouncing back and forth. Pause the question, ask a question, just have fun.
Okay.
No stress.
This is from, so first question, let's see. Is it wise to attempt to juggle multiple
No. Multiple anything.
Well, yeah, hold on, man. Let her speak now. Let her speak. Depends on who's talking. You understand me? Is it wise to juggle multiple? Hold on. Hey, hold on. Hold on a second. How young are they? Hey.
Yes.
At my age, no.
Yes.
At my age, no. But a younger dude, hey, Mike,
Yes.
holla at me. What you talking about? I just play, y'all. I just play it.
Is it wise to attempt to juggle multi-business ideas and creation at the same time?
No.
Or should I execute one to a certain level first, then begin another?
No, just one. Because don't even worry about another. Because it's, okay, businesses don't take off because you believe in them. I think, now, let me say this to the person who just asked that question. The question you just asked is not that person's fault.
No.
No, let me be very clear. It's so not that person's fault because that's popular thinking I'm hearing, right? And that popular thinking is because society's giving us the wrong impression on what it is to build, create, and run a business. Running a business is the most strenuous, intense thing you will go through because you're going through almost a rebirth. And I'm talking about the coldest. I ain't talking about that. Jesus, forgive me in the name of, forgive me. How do you repent? What's the famous repent phrase in Christianity? Is God forgive me of my sins?
For I have sinned.
For I have sinned, something like that, right? It ain't that simple. You gotta learn how to think so different. It's almost like you've been. It's like a person who's 100 pounds overweight training for a 100-meter run. Right? It's like you don't understand how hard that's going to be, how painful that's going to be, psychologically, how uncomfortable you're going to be, how scared you're going to be, how your current thinking doesn't work. To think you can do two businesses
Hell no.
is really an illusion of where you're going, and that means that you have to underserve, which means you're guaranteeing failure. One business has the ability to be the family's wealth for generations. Multiple businesses have the ability to just be an idea. Yeah. What you don't realize is that is because the way society has shaped businesses in our mind, because we don't have exposure. Goes back to what we're talking about, exposure. We don't have exposure. So that question was a very good, healthy, logical, intelligent question based upon what we don't know. It's impossible to do well. Now, you have so much to learn. The reason you want to have one product is because even your idea in its purest form sucks. In your head, it's like, okay, have you wrote something on paper and it sounded so beautiful, and as soon as you read it, you realize how bad your spelling was, or how bad your sentence structure, or your paragraph structure was, or how you process your thought was like, oh, this don't make sense to nobody besides me. Your business idea is just like that because it's in your head. Once you have to put it into the wild and make other people fall in love with it just as much as you do, you're gonna realize, oh shit, all the stuff I thought does not apply. So now you're gonna have to go out there and discover what does work and what does not work. All of a sudden, shit we said in class starts to make sense. Like you start saying, oh, that's what now I've got the context of all things because right now, many people are sitting in this class and you're fucking up our classes because your brain is trying to change the context to fit your mental model. It's not adjusting to the mental model that's given that we're trying to provide for you. But what helps you move to this new mental model is when the customers are saying, we don't want that shit. And then that's when you clean shit. Now, mind you, you can find out that that's a bad idea and pivot to your idea B. But when idea B comes about, idea A is dropped. Now, when you mature in idea A or B and become very, very good, that talent and those relationships may allow you to expand into idea B. But if you expand too early, even if you have momentum, you can instantly kill off ideal A because ideal A needs to be over. It needs the leadership that you provide. So that leadership can't be split in time. That's like, okay, that's like, this is the honest God truth. That's like you having a hobby. I'm gonna talk to a man. I don't know who's talking to me. I'm just we talk man to man talk, huh? But okay, let me just have a man to man talk. So if I'm talking to another man, it's equal to a man having 3 girlfriends, 3 cars, 2 motorcycles, a hobby, and taking his kid to school every morning. Tell me how much everybody's gonna suffer. Nobody's gonna get quality. Nobody gets quality. Nobody gets quality. Why? You're doing too much. Then even if you give them the illusion of quality, guess who loses the most? You do. You die. Mm-hmm. It's not possible. Yeah. It's just not possible.
Yeah, I agree 150,000%. I was being funny, but I used to be that guy. I used to be that guy all the way up until 2013. I was that guy with multiple hustles. And I believe that I was intelligent enough to pull it off. I believe that it worked because guess what? If hustle, say I had 3 hustles going on and hustle A just crapped out. Oh, see, I'm so glad I got these 2 other hustles because hustle B and hustle C is still good. And so what the illusion though is when you consolidate all your mindset, your energy, your focus on one thing, you'll realize the one thing you have, the facets open up. It's opportunities within the one thing. And B, when you decide, man, the 1.0 version of our business is not working, most of us in our fight or flight, we flight to another business because we think it's bad instead of really saying, what's the 2.0 version of this?
Or what about you? That's causing.
Or what do I have to do to upgrade my software to make this business better? You can't. It's like relationships. It's same shit. It's like you be in a relationship. It's fucked up. We think, well, let me go run to another one and it'll be better. But we ain't fixed ourselves. And you keep hopping from relationship to relationship. And you the problem.
Full of shit.
So so it wasn't until I realized all of that I'm gonna make my business my plan A, fuck a plan B, and then you'll realize you'll be surprised what kind of ideas you come up with and solutions, and because you're dreaming about this. Oh shit, what am I gonna do? And then fuck shit pops up because this is it. This is it. So we a lot of us never get that far. We never get to those aha moments because we're running.
Hey, let me say one. This is going a little deep. Just a little deep. Yeah, stick with me, y'all, because I can go there sometimes. I get lost in my head. But I'm gonna try to make it fast as hell. When you're moving between 2 businesses or you're moving between multiple focuses, the way that you move through life, you end up patching everything. You patch everything. But here's the thing: when you patch everything, it's going to come falling down. But when it falls down, you won't recognize the causation of it because you start. Okay. The feedback loop of your actions are so far apart because you patch this. I patched this 5 years ago. I patched this 4 years ago. I patched this 3 years ago. I patched this 2 years ago. And then when it all falls at one time, are back to back to back to back, it feels like life is coming against you. And you feel like, oh my God, I can't catch a break. Everything just, like the universe doesn't respect me. You blaming God. You talking about how you blaming friends, families, talking about people don't have your back. You thought, I don't trust people no more. All this shit is going through your head. But it's because you was doing so much shit and you patched so much shit. You didn't resolve it. You didn't go to the core of it. You didn't have a relationship with the core of the problem. You patched everything. You was too superficial because you're moving so fast. You can't even get deep about the problem. You go into like, I just need simple solutions. I gotta move quick. I ain't got time. I gotta process. Look, I'm out here hustling. I gotta move quickly. And when that shit comes down, you can't even take radical responsibility because you can't even see where it came from. Even though all the problems that's coming against you right now is because you never dealt with the core of all of these problems. Life gave you all these lessons, and all you did was you just went the first day and cut the rest of the class. Because you said, look, I'm gonna get my attendance, and all I need to go is one day. So I just did one day with all these. So at the end of the day, you'll get a certificate saying, man, you went through all these universities, and when the first life hits you, you realize you're not even qualified to do the basics. And at the end of the day, and so this is what I call the shortfall. The shortfall is I patch, because I'm doing multiple things. I'm multitasking, patch. And then they start to fall really fast. And let's say you come into let's say you got a point where you got $500,000 in the bank. You're like, oh, I'm rolling. Oh my God, I'm rolling. But then all the penalties start hitting you. And all the patching, and your family start falling apart. And all the cost that goes along with all that, as well all the hardship and even the physical breakdown of your body, because all you did was patch. You was drinking your quick coffees, you was eating your fast foods, you went and got you got your stomach sucked in, you got every fucking thing, you got your booty enlarged, well, everything I can't fuss about. But the point was this, you did everything just you didn't need to do. And you did all these silly ass patches. And when that shit come home to roost, when that rooster comes home, I've seen people literally have to almost be committed. I am not exaggerating this point. Or become drug addicts because it's too overwhelming. And this is a dirty ass trap of the multitasking of businesses or having two jobs. You have to patch to do it, and when you patch, when it all falls apart, you can't realize it's all your fault. You think it's the world working against you, and it becomes so mentally overwhelming that many times people break down and have mental breakdown. Literally take pills or have to go on some type of support because they just can't process it, and they didn't gain the strength. All those problems you had in the past, if you went through them correctly, you became stronger. So when you up here, you're a strong ass person, right? So the shit that usually would break you would just hit your shoulder, like, that's all you got for me? Just come on, I'm way stronger. Because I went through all this shit that made me here, right? But when you patched all this, you didn't get any of those strength points. So you're still hella fragile like you were back here. But when that shit comes down, you breaking like you way back here, even though you're supposed to have the muscles up here, but you down here with these weaklings, and you can't even show up to the fucking moment correctly. And you over here crying, breaking down. You want to do drugs. You fucking somebody you should be fucking with. You're doing all the wrong thing. You on some trip going, I'm gonna go to Napa for a weekend, and when I get back, I'm telling you, that's all. I just need to get away from I spent $600,000 to get this guy to massage me, touch my feet, and put me in some nasty ass mud, and I get back, I'm gonna be all right. And you're gonna come back and be more fucked up than ever. Because all you did again was you patched. You patched. Your name should be Patches.
Don't leave.
All right, next question. Oh, turn the microphone on.
Tell everybody who you are, please.
Oh, hey y'all, my name.
Huh? Give me what? Oh, yeah, turn the camera towards her. Okay, just cut through it. Oh, okay. They wanted to see. Okay, yeah, just come on through. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
She all the way
man.
from Philly, y'all. She all the way
Man, her
from
hair is so
Philly.
motherfucking fly. Hey, listen here. I saw her hair. I was like, I just had to give her a compliment.
My name is Nika Johnson. I'm from Philly.
Right on. Hey, what's
I'm
happening?
so happy to be here, y'all. Y'all don't even know. Y'all asked for feedback in the beginning of the class, and I would really love to give the feedback that I received. All this laughing and stuff, you don't see that in somebody's bedroom or somebody's kitchen when they're cooking or in their car when they're driving.
Right.
most of the time it's like, what is wrong with Nana? like we just like laughing at, just like how we just was today. So
Yeah.
it feels so good to be here.
Right on, sis. Right on.
You talk about as a service. I look at y'all as like prophets of black entrepreneurship. I know it's for entrepreneurs, but the way that y'all talk to us, specifically African Americans, nobody else can talk to us like how y'all talk to us.
Right on.
So when you do talk to us, y'all talking about probably like the whitest book or the whitest podcast in the world. But then you translate it to us for us to understand the whitest book in the world. Take those principles, filter it to us so we can understand it, so we can open our doors, our minds, and this radical responsibility has really taken over my life.
Right on. Right on. That's all time.
That is the key to this class.
Right on.
And this class is a year, but it's like a life class. Like, I'm going to take this class for life, as long as y'all
Right
do
on.
it.
Appreciate it.
So I don't want you to feel like you the leader and all that. That's in your mind. We're receiving everything. We know this is a service. We
Right.
know this is cheap as hell. I took all the classes in the world too. This class is worth so much more.
Yeah.
And I really in my heart feel as though that you're changing people's minds, and that's hard to do. Extremely.
Yeah.
And the more people, black people, that learn about this class and actually come and take it, our minds are going to start changing.
Yeah.
And that's the power that y'all doing. And that's my feedback.
Right on, sis.
In
Right
the
on.
beginning, you were a lot. But I went to a Friday class, I went to the Friday like kickback, and she said, y'all got a nice Nana this year. What you, like, girl, you got nice Nana. I'm like, Nana could be worse? She said, but it's because, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, I'm not saying all of us, you went to accounting school, you went to school, and they never talked to you like this. They never gave you any of these I never learned about radical responsibility in my life.
Wow. Wow.
So
That's tight.
when you come on and you're like, F your dreams, F your passion, F your grandma, you like, what the hell? Like, it's a shock, it's a culture shock. But let me, this was the free classes in the beginning, right? So I'm like, who he think he is? So just like you said, who he think he is, right? I'm like, I relate more to Court. I don't know who he think he is. Talk about my grandma, talk about my passion, talk about all this. And then the one class and the free class, nah, I'm in my kitchen. I'm like, here he go again. And you was like, if you don't like what I'm saying, you're the person that needs to stay in the class. If I did not go to that class that day, I probably would not have stayed in the class.
Oh, wow.
You were correct.
Wow.
And I'm not saying that y'all are yin and yang, but when you come into it in a space, you always want to go to the person that you most relate to. I most relate to Court, right?
Right.
You, I'm just like, whoa. But all of that whoa is like, whoa now. Like, whoa, he dropping gems. Whoa, he's right. Whoa, let me open my mind. Let me read about this. Let me learn more about
Oh,
this.
wow,
Whoa,
that's
let me,
so tight.
like, whoa, let me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, and that's my feedback. I don't want y'all to think that we in our homes thinking that, you know, like y'all thinking y'all better than us. That's not exactly
on,
what's going
right
on. We receiving it. I know about the train. Look,
The train.
pausing, you know. We get it all, and I just want that's all I want to say.
Right on,
That's
man. Right on.
beautiful.
Thank you, sis.
Hey. Hey, can I shout her out too? She just put on a dope event in Philly called All Black Everything, where she got a whole bunch of black vendors, rented a space, got tickets, got news coverage for only black vendors and companies, and had customers come in and purchase in her event out there.
Damn. Okay,
Yeah.
sis. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
She's dope.
Go
She's
ahead.
dope.
Go ahead. Hey, quiet as kept. Okay, this is gonna go. It's gonna tap into my. I have a deep. Okay, so I have, child of John Henry Clark and Amos. I call myself an Amos Wilsonite, right? And the goal when you say you're a child of means that you that's your foundation. And you got to keep moving. You can't stay where they were. You got to take the seeds they gave you and then grow them seeds, and then prepare the next generation to take what you give them, and then they grow the seed and go to the next level, right? And I want to say something about this is my compliment to Philly. Philly got some of the most blackest people. Like Oakland, they call us the Brooklyn of the West Coast, right? Because Brooklyn it's a rich black culture. But Philly got some shit. Like y'all got some really rich ass culture. And so, first, you get to here, and then you're from Philly. It's almost like, look here, they must send her just because she might get all my money. Because like you got two perfect things. But number three is that that's crazy because I thought I was being nice this year. And y'all keep, and didn't you think I was being nice this year?
Man, absolutely.
Yeah, I thought I was being nicer this year.
You are. You nicer
But
every year.
I think what happened is that.
No.
Hey, no, but wait a minute, hold on now.
You getting to know? The feedback loop? No,
Hey.
no?
I'm not, I don't
You're
know
not buying
why.
it?
No.
Hey.
You always loving, but nice is a no.
And you know what's so funny? You know what's so funny? Like I'm very loving. I love love. Like I love to love. And I'm not that type of bird that, okay, like sometimes when most people give to you, they're really investing. They call it what do you call it? A passive investment. Very few people give. Give is when you give with no expectations back. And I practice that form of giving, right? Now, I do business giving. Now, that's investments. But in my regular world, I like to just give, right? And I don't need you nothing. Just let me just show up and give, right? And if you give to the next, most say, how can I repay you? Often I say, give to the next black person. But I think what's harsh is a lot of things that's keeping us enslaved are things we love. Right? Like it's really weird because it's like we have so many third rails in our culture. And I think what I purposely try to do is break the third rail right in front of you and go, see, it ain't that serious. It ain't that serious. And guess what? If you go past that third rail, there's actually way more space for you and way more opportunities and way more possibilities for you, right? But the third rail is stopping you from even, like, I tell you what's hard on me is when I walk through the community, I'm talking about from the hood, I'm talking about really hood. I'm talking about even crackheads. You see this brilliance and greatness. But you see they won't let it go. They won't release it because of all these made up rules. And we don't realize how much our people suffer because you're not showing up to your gift. So in the end, it's like, I'm not attacking anybody, but freedom ain't gonna make you happy. Yeah. Freedom doesn't make us happy.
You know what I think it is, Nana? Is that because you're so purpose-driven and disciplined about your purpose that you'd rather sacrifice your feelings for your purpose. My purpose is stronger than your fucking feelings. And swimming around in your feelings is not gonna save or help or improve you. You're so purpose-driven. So that's the job, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like a doctor, you walk into a doctor's office and you got you got cancer or you got 30 days to live. You don't want your doctor to be like, oh my God, I'm sorry, oh, I can't get this out. You want them to come in and be like, what is it? Well, what I got to do? This is what it is. They may feel some shit, but that's the responsibility because they purpose-driven. And I think I love it because it's such it's refreshing. It's a refreshing, like high level coaches do it. High level psychologists do it because they know the world is being coddled. So how can I get you out your comfort zone? Shake your shit up. So it to me is a brilliant strategy if you stick with it, because I love how she broke it down, the illustration to being like at the beginning, like, hold up, like, what, wait a minute, what's he saying, in an angry way, and then slowly migrated to the same saying, but in a way of like, give it to me, which was dope as fuck.
First of all, that's gonna have me up for days, because it was powerful as words. It wasn't just, I mean, you just wasn't saying something, but you was I'm seeing myself through her eyes. A sister from Philly with a dope haircut. He said, I just say, your hair, I'm in love with your hair. I don't give a fuck what anybody say. Look, if I put your hair on my wall, that's just what it is. But the thing is that to hear her voice from Philly, that's a whole new consciousness. She has a whole bunch of experiences that if she just sat down and started telling me her stories, I would be in silence, not because I'm being respectful, because I'm in awe, right? And to hear her say that and still be able to relate to me from the other side of the country, that means everything to me, right? Because I'm not in this for rewards. I'm not trying to get no status. When I walk outside the streets, I don't look for nobody to celebrate me like that. If my daughter's celebrating me and my community's getting better, my reward is by, like, if I hear y'all doing better and y'all life is growing, your family's stronger, your relationships are stronger, even your relationship to God is better, I'm hella happy. Right? Pastor Chris calls me all the time. And we talk about his sermons all the time. We just have these philosophical dialogues. And he knows I'm not one of his church members, but I care about his members. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's like our reality is really fucked up behind slavery and Jim Crow and crack. It's really got us fucked up. And we're amazing as people. And like this one brother said, I remember I was at the Berkeley Flea Market years back, because it was like the pro-black hub. This old man walked into when they were selling albums. They still sell albums, so nobody tell no old man jokes. They're selling albums. Watch yourself, Marquita, I'm listening to you. Anyway, so they're selling albums, and the guy said, black people get on my nerves, but they all I got. And when he said that shit, that became almost my mental model. Like, it ain't about them doing right by me, making me happy. They're my people. Good and bad.
Period.
All that.
Period.
I'm going to ride with you to the end. It's like, so when I'm making people upset, I am operating from a space of, I am never working to lower you. I will never lower a black person. I will never lower a black person. I will always, I know, because I have people close to me who gets mad at me. They get mad at me all the time. And I say, tell me what I said that reduced you. If I ever give you advice, it's to push you forward. It's always to push you forward. I will never, because if I reduce you, I'm reducing myself. Next question. Thanks, sis. That was hella beautiful.
Next question is, I had a vision geared in service to the youth, but Hope Class has motivated me to build a business in a different way to create generational wealth and creating goods. Also, I am currently sitting with myself on if really I'm using this very question to justify procrastination.
See,
Hey, that was
that's
tight
dope,
as fuck. Was
right
that tight?
there. The
That
way
was
of
hella tight.
thinking, you shifted your way of
That was
thinking.
hella
That's
tight.
the Hope Class right there.
You made progress.
That's it.
I don't want to simplify nothing. I'm not placating you. You made
Nope.
hella progress.
dope as fuck.
Because that awareness is a goal.
Exactly.
If I get you to awareness, your brain gonna do the work. So congratulations on your awareness. That's number one. Number two, your desire to help youth. Let me say this real quick. Once you become successful, your voice is loud as fuck in their ears. When you ain't did shit, you just some other Negro hollering, like your noise, your black noise. The way you stop being black noise, like for those of us who want to help black people, take the journey first. Build. As you build, you become credible. People will document what you say. So in the meantime, while you building, if people tell you to fuck off while you give them advice, don't take it personal. You ain't did enough. But when you reach a point where you're productive, and you don't need to be a multimillionaire. where you just got to flow, like economic flow, comfort flow, choice flow, freedom flow. They can see the way you move is different, right? You'd be surprised. You can put in 10 times as you can reduce the amount of efforts. You can just come up with the idea and coach a group of people to drive your dream into the schools. And now you have an engine running your ideas to the schools that you oversee, that you put no physical work into. You can start building all these engines that are going out, achieving your goal, but you're the author of those engines because and what gave you the authority to author those engines is your personal accomplishments. And so as you grow, becoming a business owner is really a king in society and queen in society. You don't know that. Most of us think that being an entrepreneur is just making money. No, you're becoming the leadership of the community. And so if you want to become the real queen, the real king, I ain't talking about that old, what's up king, what's up queen, peace king, queen, cut my neck. Not that shit, right? But I'm talking about to the point where folks see you and no words are exchanged and they give you that respect. As you show up to the community, they're going to show up differently to you. And if you show enough love to the community, you can make the most gangsterous person put their gun to their side and give you a hug.
Yeah, I got no comment. You good. That's good.
This is a specific question. She said, I'm researching textiles, specifically bed linen. Have not seen what I want to. So how would you suggest creating a sample size for a textile?
That's a big, okay, your question is too big and it doesn't seem like it's thought out. I'm being, okay, so I'm gonna be pure as if me and Mashama was listening to you at a table. That's like me saying, I look at a lot of cars out here. I don't like any of the designs. So how do I get started with sample designs of my cars? What stage 1, stage 2, step 3? That means you gotta do some investigation on product development. And it's not as hard as you think it is. A lot of stuff starts easiest. Okay, so when I was coming up, you got to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. The first rule is learn the language of the industry you want to get into. If you asked us, if your question was more pinpointing, we could have gave you probably the insights or pointed you to the right person. That question was so big and so general that would be 5 or 10 classes by itself because there's so many different legs to answer that question. So if she learns the language by first start watching videos on textiles. Watch every kind of video. I mean, shit you think have nothing, like how are textiles made, different companies, different routines, different practices, right? 2, learn the language of textile development, right? Because the language is going to then allow you to speak the same language of the person you need the answers from. You can't go to a chef and ask him about mechanics, right? He may be able to give you some insight on some principles, but he doesn't build cars for a living, right? The word textile is really, really big. And so if you're going to get into a narrow space, like your narrow space, and I believe there's something there because I can hear the passion and the consistency of the questions and even the kindness of, well, last week when she asked the question, she's like, yo, I apologize if it felt out of place. So I see the potentials, and I think you might be, and here's the thing, we might be talking to somebody who's extremely great right now, but slow down. Slow down a little bit and pick up some of the smaller pieces to give you a little bit more ownership. So then you're asking specific pinpoint questions based upon, I'm doing all this work and this one little hump right here is giving me a problem. So how do I get past this one little hump? And this is what the hump looks like, and this is what I'm doing and how I engage this hump. Here are all the players. So now we get into some real gritty details that allows us to either play into it or refer you to somebody who can play into it. But that's like me talking to you about makeup going, look, I see a whole bunch of makeup companies. So how do I move towards sample makeup? You'll be like, wait, what kind? With who? What's your competition? What layer of the market? Like there's a whole bunch of questions you're going to start asking. There's no big market waiting on your one idea to arrive.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's the problem with that question. It's slow down a little bit, take that passion you have right now and harness it into the study. Don't harness the passion. Don't let the passion be tied up in your dreams. Let the passion be the fuel that moves you through your research and your relationship building.
Yeah, I was going to say that word, research. So how do you know you got enough research? You just, until what? Until you have the answer. Shit, how long does that take? The time part is irrelevant. You just keep researching until you figure you get to good starting point.
And mind you, these questions you guys are asking are not, this is why we want to hear you, because these are good questions. Every question we heard tonight, there's not a, I notice people say there's no stupid questions. There can be, I've heard some questions that I may want to call stupid, but these questions have been excellent questions. Let me tell you why they're excellent. Because this is how the world sees business. They see it as just keys. I need another key. Give me a key. And it's like, if I gave you a key, I set you up. There's no such thing as a key. And if you believe it's a key, okay. If you ever see, I was telling a sister the other day, and I was like, yo, the sister I know, she's a professional business owner who's doing really good. And a long time ago, she was in the interest of being kept by a guy. You know, when one guy pays for everything. And I talked her out of it. And I said, hey, now she's performing at a really high level, and she's built everything on her own. I'm talking about really high level. I said, sis, do you understand now why I told you not to be kept? She said, yeah. I said, no, you don't. If a man keeps you, he's destroying you. Because he's framing your world. He's creating your limitations, and he's designing your possibilities. When you get into business and you think it's all about keys, that's like being kept almost. You say, what do you mean? That means all the pimp has to do is come and dangle a key in front of you and they got you. You got to know it's deeper than that. You got to know that the key is not the answer. You got to know the answer is really you, but you're going to have to unlock it for yourself. And in that process of unlocking it, you got to learn how to you got to learn the skills of a locksmith to access it. Otherwise, all you're doing is just fiddling around and wasting a lot of fucking time, right? Her question is not flawed because she's flawed or she's ignorant. This woman might be a motherfucking Einstein in the making. Going back to the phrase feedback loop. The black business feedback loop is so fucking poor and elementary. That form of feedback loop sets us up to perceive business to be simple. Go back to the Procrustean theory, which is our simple ideas are trying to tackle these complex ideas. We have a simple model of the way we think business works, and business is way more complex. So the reason I'm able to sit up and provide you a class is not because I'm special. Most entrepreneurs have to think in multiple layers beyond what the way the public thinks, right? You can't think like pop music, you gotta think like jazz music, right? And so because of that complexity and that level of thought, what happens is it's a lot when you first start. Just like when you first go to the gym with somebody who's been training all the time, you'd be like, how the fuck do you do this 5 days a week? This is insane. I would die. But if you just start working out a little bit at a time, one day you'll tell that person, that's all you got today? Because I'm doing this. What I'm saying to this person who asked the question is that your questions are perfect, but it lets me know where you are in this business evolution. Now, why am I being purely honest with you? Because it's important, one, you get a healthy feedback loop. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to share with you what other entrepreneurs would be thinking, but they wouldn't tell you. Number three, I'm going to empower you to change it. So I know you might feel uncomfortable, because I know it feels, no, there's no such thing as somebody gives you, anti-advice and you supposed to feel good. There's no such I hate motherfuckers about, oh, you're supposed to feel good. No, that shit is uncomfortable. No. But when you're uncomfortable, okay, that shit's gonna take about 90 seconds to pass. I'm not exact, 90 seconds to pass. And when that 90 seconds pass, the jewel's on the other side of that 90 seconds. Mm-hmm. Let that energy pass, grab that fucking jewel, and say, oh shit, research, take my time, and use this energy to grow my knowledge so cold. So then, here's the thing, she may have even had investors walk by her every day, but they're not taking her serious yet. And the reason they're not taking her serious, because she doesn't sound like she owned it yet. Once you own it, investors will stop and be like, hey, so how much do you need? But when you don't own it, they say, okay. If you're cute, oh, that's brilliant. Wow, that's amazing. Hey, my hotel room's up here. If you want to come over and talk to me about it, you think I'm bullshitting.
That's how they get down.
Shit, come on now. Keep it real.
Let's have a dinner and talk about it.
Hey, that's how Hollywood was built. Let's go. Next question.
This is from Fernie.
Fern, what's up, player? We got a cold talk. What's up, player? Bird, dog whistle, baby. Dog whistle.
Fern says, as I build out our process, I realize how much of what we do is contingent on how I move, the way I build relationships, how I follow up, how I speak, how I connect. So the question is, how do I put these things into processes? Or should this be where I stay and continue to build relationships? How do you processize your persona?
Well, okay,
It's a good question.
that's an excellent question.
Good question.
When you first start, because she's a captain of that, but she's also, her identity is a captain of that. So it seems like it can't be separated, but it highly can. First, you got to analyze, you got to look at the numbers first, because you can get caught in the illusion that smiles and I'm going to do business and they did show up meant something. When you really look at the numbers, you realize that's only like 10%, right? You got to get down to like what is really moving the needle. Where's the big moves happening? Where's the really like, this feels really, really good and everybody's loving me and I get all these hugs, they send me flowers and they buy a bottle of wine. But when it comes down to it, this is not where the bulk of my money comes from. Number two, when you define your internal game and the why and the authenticity of that game, the story behind that game, where it's going, who you're trying to help. When you bring a salesperson in and you orientate them to the game, they become you. That's all you are. It's game mixed with salesperson. That's what you are. But what makes you kill everybody else on your team is because you own the game and they don't. All you have to do is get the game transferable, and when the game becomes transferable and you hire a salesperson, you're gonna get better renditions of you. Better renditions of you.
Hey, I'm training our new sales guy at the office, and so I just have him listen in every sales call. And so today he was like, "Sounds like you're chopping it up, business, chop it up, business, chop it up. You throw a little business in there and chop it up, and then it's I'm like, bro, yes, because that's the kind of hospitality that we want to give. There's a process and a system to it, but at the tip of that iceberg, we want them to feel like we just trusted advisors. We trusted advisors who got game for them and want to help them succeed, more so than being hella robotic. Like, anything can be systematized. Anything can be systematized. It just depends on how much research you want to put into creating the system. Even water, you think is poured and loose and all over the place, but it's actually 2 hydrogen molecules and 1 oxygen molecule. And you can recreate that shit at any moment. You get 2 hydrogen molecules and 1 oxygen, you put them together, and now you got a drop of water. It seems fluid, but it's still a system. It still can be defined. So it just depends on the level of detail and how deep you want to go. So sometimes the question that comes after that is like, well, isn't that not genuine? Like, isn't part of what I do, doesn't the magic come from me? I said the same shit to him when I first met him. And he was like, like, that's some kindergartner kind of shit. Once you level up, you'll realize that anything.
I'm not that bad, y'all.
I like it though. I don't mind it. I like it.
You hush.
Ashley going.
Ashley in the background.
She having a fake fan. Going.
Ashley had like do the full black woman. Unnecessary. Look,
I gotta get her a neck
talk
brace
with their face and their body like no other woman. That's why
She got her red part.
I promise you, I love my women. They can talk to man. Come on now. Yeah. Anyway, Ashley, stop talking.
Yeah, it made me forget what I was gonna say.
It's look, when you have America is a corporation. Let me be very clear. America is a corporation. America is a business.
Yeah, straight up.
America is a business. How does America produce presidents and senators and mayors that follow the same fucking routines over and over and over? Because our founding fathers said this is what you're supposed to be doing. As Americans, we stand for this. These are things we will never stand for. This is where that's how the same thing in your business. What is your constitution? What is your story of your why? What is these heroic stories? What is your call for showing up? Like what are you doing, right? So then when people step in that position, they're bringing their creative experiences because this is what makes, okay, a business greatness is based upon diversity. This is why diversity is important. Diversity is not a racial, social diversity is what allows your creativity to expand at enormous rates, right? And so when you bring diverse people into your organization, Obama didn't become president and be like, man, fuck these white people. We about to get this shit started. Hey, military, you know the fuck running this shit. Pull my guns out and let's get this money, right? He can't do that, right? Now, Trump fucked us up because what was he doing? Yo, you breaking the system, bro. This is what we do. Fuck you doing? This ain't presidential, right? Why is it? What do you mean presidential? That's a brand. That's internal branding. A story of how you're supposed to show up. So then every person comes in. So Obama, Clinton, Reagan, Bush, Ford, Kennedy, I always mix Carter, right? Nixon. All these cats were showing up as a different creative expression of the same job. You get where I'm going with this? And so, and many of them, you might say some did a mediocre job, but nobody took us backwards. Everybody's been moving us forward. Right? You can say, oh, this Woodson or whatever the one motherfucker said who brought Jim Crow, fuck that punk. But he may have said black people backwards, but he kept their agenda going forward. What I'm saying to you is that I can't guarantee you perfect employees, but you can create a system that asks people to show up a certain way that's perfect for your business.
I had a question about something you guys said earlier when it was going back to the I know, and you said your bank account says you don't know shit.
Yes.
And this may seem like a dumb question, but one of the things that I realized, even for myself, is it's very easy to just kind of laugh at the jokes and not ask you what you mean by that.
Okay.
And so can
By the way, that's what I love about you, Shabisha, because y'all don't know, offline, Shabisha will call me on one day, and we will talk 3 hours, and there's questions on top of challenges, on top of ideas, on top of conversations, and I welcome every last one. I just don't answer them all the time because I can't spend all that much time on the phone. Because it ain't her fault, it's our fault. We both get the flowing and be like, Shabisha, 3 hours again? Really? Like, I'm not even lying, this is no exaggeration. So, she always asks those questions, so I really appreciate you showing up, challenging, because when you are in business, every small word matters, every little detail matters, because one slight adjustment, you've heard a famous story about they just moved the checkout button on the website and they made $300 million. Just moved it. Small things like, just shift it over here a little bit. And the human brain is like trying clicking on it much more than if it was just a little bit over here, right? So small things matter in business. So go ahead, finish the question.
just the question. The reason I'm asking is something happened to me earlier. I realized that somebody said, this is what I was in another space and somebody said, oh, well, this is what it means to be this. And because I didn't hear what I felt like was me, I didn't ask the question. And I was wrong for 3 years. I just didn't ask, right? And so in this class, often, myself, if I hear you guys challenge something that I do, then my first inclination is to be quiet about it instead of to ask you what you mean.
All right, I love this.
So I want to ask what you mean when someone says to you, I know, and you guys both will say, but your bank account say you don't know shit. What it would sound like is like if somebody broke and they talking like they know something, but I don't think that that's what you're trying to say. So I wanted to ask you what you mean.
Okay, let me go over this real quick. There's a lot to this one, but I'm gonna try to speed up as fast as possible. In our community, we think status is money.
Yes.
We think status is money. So we fake it till you make it, even in our own families. We ballers, bosses. I've been to clubs and everybody say they're bosses, and I know they're not. I fucking know you're not. We were just talking about this the other day that most dope dealers don't make money. This has been proven multiple times, even in some certain studies that were forced. But if you ask the average dope dealer, they look like they got money. right? The hood, if you look at our numbers nationwide, our black people nationwide, the numbers are almost painfully poor.
$7.
Like you should cry. Like literally, we should be dropping tears for our people all the time. And yet, if you watch us on any type of social media, you swear to God, we live in our lives.
Best life.
Best ever. Third thing is that a lot of people are living in idealism over realism. So idealism is the way it should be as opposed to the way it really is. So quite often when we talk, we have this persona on. We both have a mask and we're talking to each other. We're not talking, we don't see each other. We're not talking to each other. We don't even want, sometimes you don't want to see each other. We don't want to see each other. So we really just mask to mask conversations, right? Go to a club, it's mask to mask dialogue. Ain't nobody like, how you really doing? Do I really give a fuck? And do you really give a fuck about what I want to say? It's mask, 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 mask. And matter of fact, the better you play the mask, the more popular you are, right? So then when they come into this real world, the difference between business people who are really performing and fake-ass business people is they're building a healthy relationship with reality. And reality hurts when you first see it. Because, see, a lot of our pain and trauma comes from, it's made us create a space where we've now created more make-believe stories to help us get through a world that we just don't understand, and it has so much pain attached to it. Like, especially if you grew up poor like I did. You see so much fucked up shit, you have to tell yourself nothing but good stories and kind of keep just your brain just has to like, shut the fuck, I don't want to hear that, right? You can see somebody die tomorrow and move on within a day or two because your brain is just, you just teach yourself how to survive. But you don't realize that you gotta like pull those clothes off to come to this world and gotta be naked and exposed. So what you do is you bring that fucking pinstripe, wingtip shoe wearing, brim with a feather in your ass over into this world where we got on overalls and we put our time in. And you start talking that shit with us. But we can see you. You don't even know it. We can see you. We know you broke. We know you broke because of how you put together your sentences, how you put together your ideas. And guess what? You're also pushing us away from you. We're not going to talk to you. You know why? Because we know once we try to really talk to you, you're going to either block us or you won't hear us. Or you will try to discredit us to make yourself, you try to bring us down to make yourself feel better. Oh, he ain't all that. I know. I remember when the motherfucker used to do this. I have a friend right now. If he's sitting, he's not a close friend of mine, but he is a close friend. He is a close friend, but we don't hang out all the time, put it that way. If he's here right now and you compliment me, he'll say, yeah, that's cool, he doing good, but I remember when the nigga just had a Kodak. That's what he's gonna say every time. He been telling the same joke for like 17 years. Like and I'm looking at him every time like, oh my God, this dude killing me. Won't listen to me about business at all. He's always trying to compete with me because his value is attached to my value, right? What I'm saying is that entrepreneurs, we're all humble. If you're really in the game and you look at your bank account and you try, because part of the game, we know money is a measurement if we're having impact. You can get a lot of people to love you and not pay you no money. That's called the funnel effect. This is what happens to most people on the internet. They may have 1 million people sign on to their website. When they go to sell one item, they can't sell more than 1,000 items, right? So we know this is a mental issue. So you have somebody who's in the funnel effect, and real entrepreneurs we're humble as hell. And we're always saying, what is it that I believe that's betraying me? Because we know that most of our betrayals are internal. It's not the world outside of us. It's not the white man. It's not the system. It's us. Now, we know that we got there because of the system, right? Systemic racism is a much bigger issue that we do not talk about because we waste our fucking time with the whack-a-mole of prejudice behavior. Man, who gives a fuck if motherfucker don't like you? Tell them to kiss your ass and move on to the next one. But we get into these silly-ass arguments when systemic racism are destroying our kids and priming our kids to underperform, when television is telling these fucked-up-ass stories and setting your mind up for these fucked-up-ass realities, when the motherfucking hip-hop music is the most dominant music in your motherfucking mind, telling you down a motherfucking thing you need to know. Side note, back to the real shit. So you come over here, we humble as fuck. We're having conversations of we're exchanging knowledge and looking for new shit. What books are you reading? We're also we're on some Indiana Jones shit where when we break, we go out to discover.
In the jungle.
We in the jungle trying to find some new shit to bring back to the circle. Say, hey, yo, look what I just found, and I'm about to harness this shit and you don't need shit. Go harness your shit. And as I see you harness your shit, I'm gonna find my jewel and harness my shit. Now we'll back each other up when we need it. Like if he called me tomorrow, like, yo, Nana, I just took a hard ass legal hit, didn't see it coming, some shit I patched 30 years ago. My business is rolling, and it hit me for $30,000. Can you help me? Okay, here I come. Right? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about we know that him going to get the jewel is just as important for me to go get my own jewel. But here comes fast talking Willie with his pimp stripe suit and his wingtips on and his fedora on, right? And he wants to talk about, yeah, I'm doing the same thing y'all doing. Yeah, that's the same moment. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He can't be more irritating to us than anything. And we know if our bank account's not right, we know to shut the fuck up in the presence of people who got big bank accounts. Because it's something they see we can't see. We know that. We don't need to know what it is, but we know that. Like, every once in a while we run across somebody who's just lucky or they just inherited money. And that's cool too. But sometimes they can just pass it on to somebody who we just need to sit in their presence and just hear an idea and then we can go back and fix a lot of our problems. The I know doesn't even fit our fucking rhythm. So when you're in that space of I know, your ego's just roaring when we're trying to have a simple conversations with you, 9.9 times out of 10, we can follow you to Bank of America or Wells Fargo or your credit union or your bank underneath your bed and see that you still tripping over $1,000. I was telling somebody the other day, I can lose $10,000 and I won't even know it. I can't know it, right? But here's the other part. No, this is the real truth. I also don't feel it when I'm saving it either because I don't live for money. This is cold. When you don't live for money, you don't spend money the same because that ain't what life's about no more. See, life is about a hug, sit down, have some barbecue, and having a great conversation, go and experience some shit, right? Life is not about me stunting. Life is not about me going places where I feel like I'm stunting. Doesn't mean that you won't get comfortable shit. Like, I can't drive in a raggedy ass car with hella noise, with windows that where somebody can be talking when I'm driving on the freeway and I can hear you talking. That's just in another car. That's just some cheap ass shit, right? I can't do that. But I'm also don't give a fuck about a brand name. Like that shit they just did in New York where they was walking up there. I would be in that motherfucker the whole time looking for food. While everybody watching somebody walk up dressed, I'll be eating sandwiches and be like, this is the best food ever. You see what she had on? Who gives a fuck? This sandwich is amazing. Right? Because that's what matters to me. Good people experiencing, learning more stuff, solving problems, helping my people, playing with my daughter, playing with my wife, hanging out with my wife. I just want to say that because she listens to that. She's like, playing with my wife? What you talking about, boy? No, but hanging out with my wife, talking shit with my son, telling jokes, playing with my godchildren, playing with my godnieces, all the people around me. That shit is like what it's all about. Because when you break it all down, when you get out of this make-believe world, you come down to what does it really matter? It's about quality people and have quality time. And that shit don't cost a lot of money at all. So guess what? I was telling my partner, I said, yo, I have this checking account that I'm supposed to keep low. So if something ever happens to it, can't get me. So I swear to God, I only had $30,000 in that account. I swear, and I thought this is ridiculous. I'm at 30. I opened an account the other day at 60. Did I even know it went up? No. You know why I didn't feel it go up? Because I don't spend. I look at my business account all the time. But I'm not like, yeah, I got, and I know where my money's going. I know I got to work on my investment game. So I'm getting my investment game going now. And it's like, I'm doing all this cool stuff I'm doing, but I'm not like, hey, where's this money at? Where's this money at? Where's that money? I got, and the reason I'm not like that is because I'm not on a journey of money. I'm not transactional. I don't value myself based on money, and I don't show up your life being rated by my money. I want to be seen by my love. I want you to know me for my love. I want you to know me for how I show up in your world, not for what I have. So that means that doesn't, now I don't have any temptation to go out and spend hella money to validate myself because my validation comes from me. If I want to be more valuable to people, produce more love for people. Because it costs me a dime. So I'm saying all that to say that when I talk about with your broke ass, cause that's the way my mama talk, right? That's Yvonne Young coming out of my mouth with your broke ass. Is saying to you that, motherfucker, I see you. Shut the fuck up. See, on the streets, in the real world, in my world, I'm not soft like that. I'm not that motherfucker who walks around with poodles and gets his toes done, right? And my feet look nicer than most motherfucking men, better than most women feet, right? Because I just clip my toes and keep my feet clean. Fuck all that other shit. But I forget lotion for 2 weeks and don't even know till my son comes to the house after. But I'm not a soft ass dude to just be like in this class, I soften because I understand that people are coming to me and they're in a fragile space. They want to be better. And because they want to be better, I want to respect that space that you're trusting me to help you become better. So I want to be as respectful and as honorable as I can with your time and your mental energy. And I want to show as much love to you to let you know that a black man can love you without wanting anything from you. I mean, like, I'm not going, if you make it, you should put my name, you should, fuck it, no, I'm not a weirdo, right? But I'm also that black man that if you catch me on the streets and you say some stupid shit, Josh should tell you, what the fuck you just said to me? But also, I'm not as hostile because I realized that was an anger problem, psychological problem. So, like, my kids have never seen me holler at my wife, never. They don't even know what that looks like, right? Matter of fact, last time my son see me cuss somebody out, which was about 7 years ago. Now, I always say, you can't whoop me. Meaning if somebody come at me, I can handle it. But I never go looking for problems. Matter of fact, I will ease out of spaces of violence because I got too much to lose. So I'm not walking around with bravado, because that's really a man walking around in fear. So I really do talk harsh because I come from a harsh environment. It's like the black cowboy, right? But I'm also a very loving person, and I'm also a very honest person. And you're not about to sit in my face and say, I know, but you broke as fuck. And when I say, shut your broke ass up, and I said this to people to their face. Some dudes are bigger than me. Like, dude, you fucking lying to me. You broke as fuck, I could tell. What? What do you mean? What do you mean, bro? You broke as fuck, I can tell. The shit you just said made no fucking sense. Now, you want me to be a detective and break this shit down and show you how you gave me all this broke-ass evidence? And the reason I'm doing that is because I need you to get focused and make this money and stop betraying everybody, including your whole fucking family, who you go out here and spend 10 hours a day and not making a fucking dime and not bringing nothing home in the name of doing some stupid shit because you don't want to listen. You betraying yourself, your fucking kids, your fucking wife, your fucking household, your fucking community. Everything's being betrayed with your fucking egotistical ass. And if you don't believe me, let's go look at that broke ass bank account where you don't get past 3 zeros. That's the real talk. So that's what you're really hearing from me. I'm talking some real shit because that shit is really black. Let me add one more. This is real. 510 Media is 510 Media because black women have pushed us here. Let me be very clear. The reason 510 Media has made so much money, and I promise you, I can start calling names. I got more black women riding with 510 Media than y'all can even begin. If anybody, I'm not saying this because y'all just 3 women in the class, because it's just y'all not a big enough audience to say this, to make this shit up. But I told anybody that knows me, I said, when we built our first office, I want a statue of a black woman in my office. Because black women is behind our success. Black women, I know a lot of black men out here. Man, these motherfuckers, these soft, no goal having, sensitive, emotional ass, no money making, trying to come up hella quick, don't want to process a thought, hella emotional, want to fight everything. Motherfuckers trying to beat up butterflies. Soft motherfuckers. And here's the thing. The violence our boys are having on the streets, they need our men to show the fuck back up. They don't respect it. We don't need to go out there and grab nobody and shake them. Look here, brother, what the fuck wrong with you? I was on this street back in the days. No, they don't need that stupid ass shit. They just need somebody they can fucking respect. And we are so distracted with man, motherfuckers. I know a motherfucker right now. This motherfucker got 5 old school cars that he works on every fucking weekend. I want you to understand that's a soul that is working on a piece of shit. His son ain't even performing well. And his son is starting to do the same shit. That means you give zero contribution to nobody, not even your fucking girl. On the weekends, you wake up and work on a motherfucking car. He's older than me. Some woman sitting with this motherfucker talking about dreams, and he's talking about, yeah, I'm getting a new carburetor and shit, some new wires, some new tires, some new rims. This is shit I'm seeing. I see some men who are literally acting like they're looking for a breast to be on. I got some men looking for a house to lay up in. Motherfucker talking about, yeah, she make more money for me, so she should give me. If you don't shut your bitch ass up, I called being bitches. I had a dude tell me, yeah, I'm trying to get this girl to buy me something. I said, dude, you a bitch? I didn't know you was a bitch. He said, what? Only a bitch ass man gonna be sitting around talking about he wants a woman to buy him something. Fuck wrong with you? You're a grown ass man. Because if I hit you in your jaw, you be like, you respect me. Respect what? You're a bitch. This is who I am on the streets. I'm hella honest with men. I don't talk soft talk with men. But because I got a combination of people who don't know me, and women and men, I try to soften up to say I respect your emotions and your feelings.
Got it. Hey, just to touch on that a little bit. Hey, I had a friend I grew up with, super religious, female friend. We were real close, like friends. And she got really involved in this religion. And I know her. She's the homie. Like, I know her personality. So I'm living my life. She calls me, and she calls me to recruit me to the religion, to witness to me, right? So she goes through the whole speech about this and that and the end and Armageddon and all this shit and like about how great this religion is and blah, 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 blah. And I just let her go. And then when she done, I said, hey, Dee Dee, are you happy? Are you happy? And she's like, what? I said, are you happy? And she paused and she broke down and started crying. I said, because I'm hella happy. I'm hella happy. And she continued to cry. I said, I didn't mean to make you cry. I just putting all the shit you told me in perspective. And if happiness doesn't equal the shit you talking about, I don't want it. And after we got off the phone, like 3 or 4 years later, she got out the religion herself. Because that's where the rubber got to meet the road at some point. So same with entrepreneurship. On your journey, it's going to be hella hype people. It's going to be hella social media shit. Everybody telling you this shit. They're going to prematurely crown you as a queen or a king. And if you get caught up in that hype, then you will forget that the true currency is the currency that matters in terms of you being able to continue your business the next day is the money. Like that's the currency at some point. So a lot of times, like you mentioned earlier, we think the currency is the social currency. That's the real shit. So when he says that or when I say that, it's just bringing you back down to reality to say, hey, let's do a heat check real quick. Yeah. You talking all that shit. You doing all these big things. You look the part. You got all this hype around you, all the fucking social media. But what's your bank account look like? And if it's not a reflection of where you at, then shut the fuck up and listen. Because the I know shit, you don't know shit. Because if you did, your bank account would be a reflection of what you know. And it's not. And that's okay. But shut the fuck up and let's listen and let me give you this game. And a lot of times your ego wants to tell you that you got it. Even old school spirit, like the spiritual world that I come from, that I roll with and fuck with, a lot of times they've taught us that, what we need to know, we already know. It's already in us. We just have to tap into it. But in business, you got to learn that motherfucking shit. You got to learn it from somebody or from experience. I don't care.
Amen,
And challenge
brother.
me on it. Challenge me on it. Now, I will not disagree if you know everything about the universe, how your body works, how you work, how to relate, emotions, all those things. If you're getting downloads or you internally know it, cool. But business is not. Business is something that came 100 years ago. So that's some external shit that's outside. We got to learn it. So miss me with that shit. My daughter's mom is like this spiritual, and she wants to build her spiritual business. Man, all right, call me. Let the universe tell you how to create a business process. Nope. Okay, you want to talk again? All right, let's talk again. And I will give you the game and help you break down how you build this spiritual business, but it's a business. So, okay, come back and we play this game back and forth. Like, I fuck with you. I want you to ball the fuck out because you got my daughter. But you thinking the universe is going to drop down a business system to you? It's not fucking. They may bring you a person who can help you get it, but you tripping. So those are just heat checks, and you want those heat checks. Anytime he even says it, I go back and be like, wait, how much money do I buy my account? Okay, that account, like, because I love it. And here's the last part. When I have those conversations with myself, because I have them often, especially if I come from like a hype cycle, I'll run myself through it at the end of one just to calibrate where I am. And I'm like, okay, what's the reality? Oh shit. The reality is this, that, the other. My person just went on vacation for 2 weeks and our company is in fucking shambles. That means my company's relying on one human. Fuck. Like, okay, and then let me go to this one and that one and that one. And at the end of my list, I'm fucking depressed almost. So then it's the tools that I use to say, all right, cool, you're good. You needed that. What we gonna do tomorrow morning? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had a young lady who was throwing these big events in Phoenix, my stomping ground. And she had all these people show up. Everybody's dressed in suits and dressed up, all these beautiful black people, hella people, right? Filled up 3 hotels. So she's like, yeah, we had a successful event, worked really hard. At the event, they gave everybody roses. This is the team that helped out. So I decided, I just want to know. I'm nosy. I don't know why I need to do this. And I'm telling myself, I really should not care, but I'm going to go and find out. Well, come to find out the whole team was volunteers. At the end of that event, all she made was $2,000. But she spent almost a whole year of working on that event. In the last 6 months, she went to work. $2,000. Well, if you break that out and we put your calculator, she would have made more money at McDonald's. Right? But in her mind, it was successful and she did it a year and year and year and year again. Her brain literally could not separate the success of being celebrated. The white party that used to happen at Preservation Park in Oakland, biggest white party ever. So I sat down with the promoters who was running that white party. I said, hey, what's the most y'all have ever made? Because the Preservation Park used to be packed full of black people, all dressed in white. Beautiful party, right? What's the most you ever made from those parties? They said $2,000 a piece. If you've seen all the work that went into that shit, what I'm saying is this, we get hijacked by the reputation, the status, the celebration, the social media praise, the pictures, all that, and then you didn't make no money, dog. You didn't make no motherfucking money. And so at the end of the day, that's why we did today, like when I say stay close to your numbers, don't get fooled and play that shit. Because I've seen, there's people in Oakland right now, this is 100%, majority of the entrepreneurs, I can honestly say this because I know the back end of most of the businesses in Oakland. Majority of the black businesses in Oakland, majority, not all, majority, not say majority, I'm talking about in the 80-90% range, are not making any money. Yeah, I said it. And if you want, bring them to me. The few that are making money, they're quiet as fuck. They get down. I know they are. They perform. They're very humble and they're very giving. They're very loving. They're always trying to show up. Let me say this real quick too. Go back to, I want to say something about the happiness. This is a side note. You know, the greatest thing I get to do with my money? It's when the kids, all my godchildren, my own kids, I can invest in them in college. Like they don't have to go to school with a bad computer or don't have no money. I got that. Right? Y'all don't understand how this shit feels. Like you putting that work in, but when you can show up for your community, you're talking about happiness. Y'all have no fucking idea how happiness really feels when you can first show up for yourself and then able to then show up for others and watch out for others. That shit is the greatest fucking feeling ever. And it gives you choices on how to help your people like you've never seen before. So going back to the point is that we become blinded. And this happened in Oakland. I know people have been in business for 15, 20, 30 years. They talk that shit. But when they call me, and I'd be like, hey, cut that shit out on the phone. You know I know the fuck you are. I know somebody right now who does business coaching, talks about success, gets hell of attention. If I called out her name, which I would not, everybody in this room probably would know her. If not, everybody that's on this class that's from the Bay Area would know her. Very, very popular. Tells everybody how to make money. Even goes to get corporations. I talked to her. I said, yo, you ain't saying nothing. Like I said, if you talk to me one-on-one, if we get that space, I'm not going to bullshit you because I don't want to be the person that once you realize the world was lying to you, I don't want you to see me as an agent of the lies. So I said, yo, you really want to know? That's my only thing I'm going to ever ask you. You really want to know? She said, yeah. I said, okay, if you're comfortable, I'm going to tell you. Okay, cool. What the fuck you say? You ain't saying nothing. So all you talking some old motivational shit, and the shit sounds weak, like you ain't never made no money from the shit. She goes, well, honestly, Nana, I never made money. I spent my whole savings running this business. She spent her whole savings to run this business. But she's the same person when she's comfortable. I know. No, I know. Yeah. Nana, we know the same things, Nana. You just spent your savings, and you just sat at the table with me and say, I know the same thing you know, Nana. I've had people who businesses can't make a profit. If profit was motherfucking oxygen, they can't get enough. They call me up, hey, Nana, you want me to help you teach hope? You think I'm joking? Am I lying? Like, y'all don't. When Court first met me, I said, Court, the game is more fucked up than you think because the illusion is so strong, you can't sense it. I said, Court, trust me. So me and Court go to this club. Baron Davis, when my partner called me up, hey, come to fuck with this club. I call Court. Court, these are your kind of people coming down here because I don't know. They talking that basketball shit. And I know Court basketball in the streets. I don't know his basketball. This is some other shit. It's that high level shit. So these are your kind of people. So it was some championship ball players and people went out at the championship in the NBA. They're all hanging out together. So he said, yo, I go, all these people are fronting. Everybody in here is fronting. No. So he meets some dudes, we're venture capitalists. Remember them motherfuckers? We venture capitalists. You know, we're looking for businesses to invest in. He said, no, this dude right here, you need to meet these dudes. He said, he's venture capitalist. Venture capitalist is a smart job. If somebody else has money and tells you, hey, can you figure out who we can get this money to? So I'm going to title you a venture capitalist. You go find somebody, but it's my money. You ain't got no money. But if you don't know that, venture capitalists sound like they got money and trying to give money away. But they were stunning like they had the money. And everybody in that room was fake. And I was like, dude, but everybody in that room was walking around like they had big ass money. I'm trying to explain to y'all that you guys would not know this because we're doing branding and marketing for everybody, so we get a chance to see what they're really working with. We find out everybody's bullshit. It's so dominant. And this is why we created this class, because we was like, yo, we got to stop this fronting game. Because now the kids are coming up and they ask questions like, yo, can I work 3 or 4 businesses? This is not that, the person who asked that question is zero flaw. It's all the black folks that came before them and created that fucking illusion like, yeah, I got about 5 or 6 businesses, I'm doing big things. Yep. And in the end, that's all they know. Yep. So that's why that wasn't a bad question because the shit they were saying was real in our community, but in the real world, when you go to real business, when I first went to my first investor, I'm going to be 100% transparent, he hurt my fucking feelings. He looked at my paperwork and asked me a group of questions and made me feel like I should never talk to him as long as I fucking live. He went through he cut through all my book. He read me the riot act like I've never been read before. He literally told me, you a broke motherfucker and you don't know shit and you need to go practice and don't you ever open your motherfucking mouth until you get past this stage to talk to another fucking investor. But he said it worse than that. And I sat there at Mingo's with my papers in my hand. This is no lie. This is Mingo's. This is a club in Oakland. It was a hood-ass club. I was sitting there with papers in my hand like, you know when like you holding papers and your hand's so sweaty that the papers just start to like melt between your fingers because I'm sweating so bad from feeling so fucked up. And that was the beginning of my lesson of, oh, who you think you bullshit? Because all my partners, everybody around me, and my family was buying the story. But when I got to him, and this cat had crazy millions back then, a brother. And he just said, okay, he was real cool, laughing with me. Yeah, man, she bad. Woo, woo. We talking all the flirtatious talk. When I pulled out, started talking numbers, I never felt so, I felt like I disappeared. Like I died, and there's just a shell there sitting there.
Want to get away? Want to get away? You just start stuffing shit in your mouth.
Like, oh my God, I never felt so. And that's when I realized, oh, this is an illusion. And to this day, when I see him, I give him a hug. I'm not exaggerating. I give him a hug. I say, yo, thank you. Thank you for introducing me to my first early touch of reality.
Hey, you know what? That brings me a point. You also know why it's good that we say that? Is because we're preparing you to be around other performing entrepreneurs. So then when you go in they face, you ain't on that bullshit because they're going to call you to the same carpet. And you know, when you looking at from an investor's perspective, it comes down to the numbers. What's your not only what you're making, but what's your profit margin? You know what I'm saying? What's your debt level? What's your profit margin? What's your overhead cost? All those things is all numbers. All that emotional shit, they don't give a fuck about. Oh, that's a good story. All right, let's talk that real shit. So if you are always in the flowers and you don't have any kind of conversation of like, okay, well, here's my conversion rates. This is how much it costs me. This is my contribution margin. This is that. This is exactly how much I make at the end of the year. What's your percentage? You can't bullshit that percentage. What's your margin at the end of the year? 42%. Lies. Not possible. If you got a 42% profit margin, you should have a line of investors fucking around the corner trying to give you money. So if you don't know none of that shit and you ain't really crystal clear about the numbers, then you'll be caught in that illusion. And we want you to be prepared and be successful.
Also, when you run a business, you're not running a business to raise your status or raise your wealth. You're also running a business to sell it. So if you don't know that language, when you talk to real people, they're going to see right through you. Because if it's a passion project, no one's going to trust you. No one fuck with you. Even if the project is making you some money right now, if you're not talking about the idea that you're going to turn into, it could possibly be a future sales, doesn't mean that you're not enjoying it right now, you're enjoying the run, but you understand that you're building it for succession. If you don't understand succession or sales, that you're not going to own that business, you're not going to die and come back and be born, 3 days later, rise from a grave, and then come back and run this shit again, right? You dead. So if you're not thinking that long-term call or I'm going to rise up to this point, and when this business cycle change, I'm going to sell that off and move on to the next project, right? But if you're not like tuned into business cycles and the way the world's really running and how things are moving, and you're not tuned into like how business is really flowing, and you caught into this like, I have a passion, and my passion only sees one thing, and I just know when Jesus anoints me, I'm going to rise to get your punk ass out of here. That's the real game. That's the world you really in. But on the streets, at your school, your PTA meetings, in your girls group, in your clubs, your hobby groups, that shit will sell. But in business, it don't make no money. Your mama gonna love it. Your friends gonna love it. Matter of fact, your friends may not like it. They just don't want to fuck with you.
Exactly.
Got one more strong question before we go home? Okay, go ahead. Let Marquita ask a question, and then make Haja say something. Go ahead. Oh, no, yeah, he remembers me because I saw him not too long ago. He bought a whole bunch of real estate. He has this big ass 3-story house up and on top of you know where the golf course is off top of 98th. His house is right over there, and he just bought a trucking company for his son, who graduated a law degree. His daughter's a top engineer in the nation, and his other daughter, I think, is a doctor. His other daughter's a doctor, and he was a crackhead when his first child was born. That's how powerful that story is.
Wow.
And so he's a realist to a highest level. If I go talk to him right now, I've been trying to get him to come here, but he's gonna be a little too hard. I think he's gonna be too harsh for everybody. Because
Man,
like
do it, bro.
like
Do
me and
it.
him will love him,
Do it. Do
but
it.
I think y'all will be like, ooh, I
Do
don't,
it. Oh, I
don't
love-
know.
come on, man.
I don't
Do
know
it.
this motherfucker because he's very loving though, but he will turn your dumb question to a joke. Like he'd be like, that ain't funny, man. That ain't even funny. Fuck you. Like he's just like even when I go to him this day, I'm dotting my I's and crossing my T's before I start talking to him. Because I know he ain't for the bullshit. And I gotta make sure that I'm not caught up in any hype, right? And so when I come to him, I have to be 100% transparent and then be 100% honest. Any degree of false sense of value, purpose, any ego, he's gonna read right through that shit and chop me up in pieces. Because he won't just let you get away with a statement. If you say something, he'll go, oh, so how's that? Tell me more about that. And if everything that you say doesn't reinforce that point with solidarity, he'll know you bullshitting, and then he'll just cut you up, and then he'll say, okay, then if he cuts you up, he'll go, okay, so now you ready to work on a real solution now? But he's gonna cut you up because he don't think you're funny for even wasting his time with that shit. So last time I saw him, I just stay strictly to what I'm doing and what's working and what's not working, and no in between interpretation, no good and no bad. Just that's what it is, right? I'm sorry, puppy. I know that's all I do. So that's all. Nothing extra. So if he comes, man, he's just whoo. But I love it.
I like
because
it.
what it does
I
is
like
it reminds me why I'm here. Because once again, you're gonna die one day. Are you really serving? It's so easy to get caught in illusions because even to this day, you always fight these illusions. Your brain, you were like, I'm doing this for my kids. Yeah, but your kids just want to hug. Fuck wrong with you,
Kids
right?
wanna play.
Or I'm out here trying to save the world. Yeah, but can you just go home and hug your family just one day? Fuck wrong with you, right? And so it's just one of those things where the illusion will get you out of balance, and you need that reality check to keep bringing you back. So your circle also matters. If you have one of those. You go, girl. All right, okay. I call it the pop music circle. If you have a pop music circle where everything is positive and everything is good, and everything's hopeful, which has some punk ass social justice circles, those circles will allow you to slip into an illusion for years. You need a real circle to be like, okay, can I just be honest with you? I think this shit's ugly. It might just be my opinion. Well, why do you think it's ugly? Well, I was glad you asked me why, because I was prepared to give you a fucking speech. And they run it off to you. Look, it may not feel good, but that circle's empowering you to think beyond your comfort zones. Don't mean that circle's always right. You don't have to listen to everything they say. Everybody in your circle ain't experts. But what they do is they're helping you think. And that's why they're valuable. Huh? Oh, somebody give Kaja a microphone because she is not going to leave this class. First of all, those of you that at home, Kaja came in with a very beautiful
She
dress.
clean. She
better-
clean.
Her hair, and her shoes.
She
motherfucker.
clean.
I think those are Gucci's, but I don't know all them fancy ass brands and shit. But I'm saying it's like some old golden Gucci's. You understand me? But the point is this: she fly as fuck. Online, she is a full-out news reporter. Let me report to you what I'm thinking, right? But today with the class, also she comes to this class, all of a sudden she's peaceful and she's timing with her chi and all that shit. So Kaja, what's up? Tell me your thoughts. Share something. Ask a question. I don't give a fuck. You just want to send us home. Do something.
Well, I'm quiet on purpose because I understand that I'm very new to the concepts that y'all are talking about. I'm still working my job. So this first year for me is an opportunity to really think about where do I even potentially see myself fitting within the scope of entrepreneurship. Some things to me are very logical. Some things for me are going to be a stretch. And just to be very honest, I'm still very distracted by my personal life. So it's very hard for me to focus on a lot of the concepts the way I should be because I'm still doing a lot of other things over here. So that's a lot of the reason why I'm not saying much is because I feel it's more prudent at this point for me to hear than speak.
So let me say this. Let me share with this. So you know how Michael Jordan and Kobe became so good in competition. And without competition, they wouldn't be famous. Whether you know it or not, your profile is a perfect profile to help you save those people. So when you do speak, right or wrong, sideways or straightforward, you're giving me data on how to show up to that space and help that group of people. So everything you say and every contribution you give is valuable. There's nothing you can say in this class. Like, even if I get to get frustrated, that's my little punk ass feelings. I get past that sorry ass shit, right? But I see the value in you no matter, because I think sometimes we don't realize we're all part of this puzzle. We're all valuable data. So if you say, well, you know, I'm working and this is how I feel about it, I say, this message needs to be shaped like this to get to that point, right? But if you don't say anything, well, I might be talking to her because she's running her business all black everything, you understand me? She might be running all black everything and her shit is amazing, right? So she might be like, yeah, I get it now because this is what I want. But you're like, I don't know if this is working for me because this ain't what I need. So every time you give me feedback, you do make us better. And every time you throw out your ideas. So I value all of your contributions. And that's why I was hoping you give me some of that online energy. And don't get me wrong, like I said, it's a difference between unprocessed questions or comments and processed comments. I think you process pretty strong. I think that's why, like, if I thought you were just, we call it the wine lady, she had mental issues. We had this one student, she's a legend in this class. She brought more stress to me than anybody in this universe. She was called the wine lady. She had a mental illness. I'm not even exaggerating, she had a real mental illness. And she would say things in this class that to this day, even when I see her, I refuse to see her anymore.
She won't speak to me.
Yeah, she hates
shuns me.
Yeah, she hates me. And guess what? She needs to hate me. We need that relationship.
okay with
and we don't need to talk again. There's 8 billion people on this earth. I can lose one. I can lose one so fast it doesn't matter. I won't cry at night. But anyway, the wine lady was different. And that's the kind of person you are, because sometimes, you know, when you open to the public, everybody can't be like the amazing people in this room. But Kaja, even when you said things in the beginning, there was depth to them. It's just that you was typing it, but I could see the depth in the typing. You said very few words, but the way you phrased them was depth. Bring it. Bring it. If you disagree, you feel uncomfortable, share that, because like those questions, the old me would have shitted on a lot of those earlier questions because I was too busy trying to drive something. The more I learned about the diversity of black folks and how much the whooping that slavery and our generations have done to us, I ain't talking about the spanking, I'm talking about the actual mental whooping. If we want to save black people, we got to brace all that. And from the conservative black to medium to middle class, upper class, to the Gucci shoe wearing blacks, you understand me? Oh, to whatever's going on, all you guys are important to the story. All of you. So there's no such thing as, I really don't want to hear you silence. I mean, silence if you don't want to say something, fine. I'm not pushing it. But I want to hear Kaja. I think Kaja got some school shit to say. I think Kaja got some lessons for us. Even in our disagreements, that means I need to improve the way I communicate, right? So I'm looking for Kaja to help me become better.
Amen,
So
brother.
I look forward to you talking to me, Kaja.
Thank you.
All right, with that being said, hey, y'all. Oh, okay, got one more question? Okay, go ahead. Come on. Chibi, I really like those glasses on you. It's almost like you're bringing some of that New York flavor.
Run
like,
DMC.
Yeah, the gazelles, you know what I'm saying? You looking kind of fly. You just like, you need your hat. Or you need some Adidas. You need to just ask her you wear her jacket, and you on point. Because her jacket would really rock your look. I'm serious. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
The question was about how much, sorry. Okay, the question was, how much money would you suggest we start with?
Oh, that's a
I'd
beautiful
say
question.
at
I
minimum.
love that fucking question. Oh, I love that question. I'm sorry. That's the best. Okay, one of my favorite best questions, because let me tell you why. That's a question that beats the fuck out of you when you first start. And it's the scariest, that's one of the scariest thresholds to cross. But it's an illusion. And oh my God. Finish the question, but I'm so in love with this moment. And damn, it's 9:39. So I'm gonna just Please bear with me. If y'all need to go home, go to bed, New York folks, and East Coast folks, and Chicago folks, just come back, because I got to answer this question. Go ahead.
So yeah, the question was, how much money would you suggest you start with, have saved at minimum?
None.
I mean,
Let me say this real quick.
I want to get at it too.
Okay. Let me share one story real quick. It's called brick by brick by brick mentality as opposed to chunking it. Because you're trying to chunk it, that's what keeps many of our great people out of the game. I had a friend who wanted to run his own print shop. So, he was, okay, so if you ask me how much it would cost to do a print shop, you'll say, okay, you need at least one printer, a space for people to come, and be able to buy supplies, right? Just at minimum, and pay utilities. Well, this cat had no money. No motherfucking money. What he did was, he's like, shit, I ain't got no money. But what he had was an idea. So he went to the store, and he Xeroxed a copy saying, I will pick up your trash for free. He had an old junky truck. But he only dropped his flyer off. Let's go by. He only dropped his flyer off in the hood. I mean, no, in rich neighborhoods. Very, very rich neighborhoods. He just went to rich neighborhoods, and I'll pick up your trash for free. Knowing that rich people would throw away valuable shit. And every weekend, he would set up an operation at the flea market and sell the shit he got from rich people, raising enough money to buy him guess what? A commercial printer. He raised enough money to buy him a commercial printer, pay the first month's rent, and start his space. When he first started, it was a hanger and some tape. And he evolved it to a full-fledged business. What I'm suggesting to you guys is that an idea is the most valuable asset you have when you first start. If you have a great idea, you may need to change your starting points, right? You may not be able to start like at the highest level, but if the idea is well developed, you sometimes can even just sell the idea for investors. Because a lot of people want to start businesses but they don't have the skill, they have the money though, right? And so at the end of the day, starting a business, you literally start with the idea and you look for micro growth that can push you into macro growth. When Fight Team Media first started, this is no exaggeration, I had $7,000 in the bank. I spent all $7,000 on just office designs. That means when Fight Team Media opened up, guess how much money I had? Yeah, you heard me, 0. Right? And I didn't have no second job. I had my mouth, and I had my back to the wall, and I said, I'm going for it. And guess what? I could have fucking failed. But guess what I did? I drove, and I was prepared to fall, and do it again, and do it again. You don't need guarantees in this game. You need drive and an idea, and you'd be surprised what money you can produce. And if you get solid on your idea, so let's say the sister's asked about the textile. Say she learns her shit. Like she learns her shit. Same person. Okay, so say she learns her shit, right? And she got her shit down. And she's doing small sample sizes with what little money she has. And people are watching her like, damn, you kind of tight. And let's say she does something really simple, like she makes one blanket where people are like, whoa, you did that? And you're like, yo, I just need just trying to raise like 3,000 or 4,000. Do you know how fast that 4,000 will come in? It'll make your fucking head spin. Because you know what people are investing in? Your skill and how you showed up, your talent and your growth. They're not investing in the end result. What we've missed is that you don't need money to get this game started. You need discipline, structure, application, practice. There's certain things that you put in place: creativity, innovation, thinking different mindset, growth mindset over fixed mindset. All these different tools we give you in class, that's business. That's business. It ain't, because if I give you all that money, you don't have none of that, people know you just want to throw that money away.
Yo. So, check this out. Again, my company started with like $300.
He said 300. No, he didn't say 300,000. $300.
$300. And if you know the clothing game, that gets me about 30 shirts, 30 T-shirts, and an Instagram page. Hey, I'm getting back in this game. Y'all like this design? All right, well, shit, I made them. Who wants some? Because I didn't even know if I was still in the vein. Oh, shit. And mind you, I'll say 80% of that, the people who bought it, was on some friends and family. nostalgia. But that $600 was still $600 after I flipped it. All right, well, what y'all think about this one? And this one, and this one, and this one. Just kept flipping, failing. Oh, nobody liked that one. Took a loss. Let me keep. It don't take. It's the rhythm. It's the rhythm. It's not the money. It's the rhythm. I watched this show, this documentary. This guy who's a multimillionaire real estate guy, and they followed him around with cameras, and they said, "All right, cool. We're gonna take you to a city where nobody knows you and strip you of all your money, everything, every fucking thing. Only thing we're gonna give you is a laptop. Bet." He had his mouthpiece and a laptop. In like 14 days, he had like 60 G's in his bank account. 14 days. He started off looking for different openings, switching, being diverse in how he was thinking, disrupting certain industries. Let me look at these listings. They've been available for a long time. Ain't nobody's renting them out. Oh shit! All right, let me go talk to. All I got is this car, my laptop, and my mouthpiece. Went up into the. Hey, let's talk. It seems like this has been on for a long
I've seen
time.
that happen before.
This has been on the market for a long time. Nobody's rented. Hey, how about this? Can I just take it for 30 days and then you can sign this over to me and then if I like it we can keep going. He ended up signing it over to him with no money. He Airbnb'd it and started and got some money to start. He had like $800 in 2 days because it's the rhythm. He had the millionaire mindset already, so you could strip him of everything. Gone. Exploded, but you can't take the game away. So focus on the game. That's what makes it so fun. Like I lost everything, right? I lost my first company. I lost it all, but it was the tools, the things that I learned along the way, and the more game that I learned on top of it to say it don't matter. Like fucking don't matter. The pandemic happened. I'm sitting there. Fuck. All right. Well, I'm 40. I'm 45. Fuck it. We just have to do this shit again because the rhythm is the same. So if you have the luxury of having 10 grand, 20, 30, 40, 50 to start, I almost want to say that might not be the best look because if you got something solid, test it out with nothing.
Yes, don't spend money to start your business, especially if you like. It's about. I got a partner right now. His name, I'm gonna use B. His name is B. B knows real estate. He knows it better than anybody. The things he knows, he learns it on his own better than anybody I know. B makes crazy fucking cash on his knowledge. B can't go broke. If he wanted to, he can't go broke. Because every time he goes on a job, he has exponential growth. He could talk to one person, that one person's gonna get 3 to 4 people to fuck with him. Instantly, they're like, I've never met anybody that has this much knowledge. He's at a point that he's at court right now, working with lawyers, helping divorce cases. Like, he's in real estate, right? He's so goddamn cold. Like, this cat is brilliant, and he gets paid crazy cash. And he's doing development, appraisal, and legal issues with lawyers because his level of knowledge is so deep. And a circle of people that fuck with him because he has commercial as well as, he started with residential, and he decided, I just want to learn commercial on my own. His practice game is so real and is so strong that he knows when he walks in a room, he's going to be the brightest light. So he told me, he said, this is what he told me. He wanted to have fun one day. He wanted to see how strong his knowledge was. This cat put on an orange t-shirt, orange shorts, and some orange shoes, and he was overweight. So he said, I look like a big-ass fat piece of orange. He said he walked in there, and he said the people at the office was trying to shoot him. Like, what are you here for? The owner comes out, knows who he is. Oh my God, Brian, you're there. He walks in the room with all these strangers, and he knows everybody's uncomfortable with his outfit. He's intentionally doing this. And this dude who's from this high-end dude from some high institution started to speak about business. He said, actually, you're wrong, and let me bring some clarity to it. When he finished, he said people were literally eating out of his hands. Everybody passed his car. How can we stay connected to you? Da, 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 da. because his knowledge overrode him wearing a fucked up orange outfit weighing 275 pounds at my height. Damn, he gained that. Yeah, that's back in the days. He wanted to prove the point that I could be totally physically unacceptable and my knowledge would whoop that ass. That was a powerful ass point in itself. I can't, the practice. I talked about that at the beginning of the year. Practice, and practice. You'll be surprised how many doors, I got so many stories of people who started with no money and all they had was a flyer and went and rent some shit and made some money. Like, there's a dude that made, who was listening to, I think, Gary Vee or somebody. He's like, yo, if I had time, I would start a business. Why just go wash people garbage cans? He was like, yeah, I blew my company up washing garbage cans. Washing garbage, how much money that cost you washing a goddamn garbage can? I think you understand what I'm saying. Like, if you have these steps, if you don't have the money right now, if you plan it and you stay focused and you practice and you grow and develop yourself, oh, that should take care of itself. It means that you may lose a year or two, as opposed to never moving because you're like, until I get here, I'm not gonna be ready. You spend if you win a lottery tomorrow, you win $1 million. If you have that kind of mentality, you'll be broke by the end of the year without a product. Because you keep trying to pay your way out of the problem as opposed to learn your way out of the problem. No shortcuts, baby. With that being said, Conscious spoke tonight. Marquita spoke tonight. Josh, don't you say shit. Everybody else spoke tonight. Ashley, you spoke tonight with all that extra.
She need a neck brace. She need a neck brace now.
Extra, you know what I'm saying? I know she done pull all kind of muscles in her neck. Anyway, with that being said, we'll see y'all next week. We're going to start off with, I'm sending you a podcast tomorrow. Everybody look for the podcast. It's going to be coming from Danielle. It's going to be a powerful-ass podcast. I'm going to probably send about 2 or 3 podcasts going to fire you up. There's some of the blackest, hoodest, but dopest, brilliant podcasts you've ever heard. Brothers from New Orleans. He's dropping nothing but jewels. It's going to make you want to start investing your money because some of y'all should invest your money as it is. 2, next week we're going to come back with Eagles the Enemy. It's going to be Rich and Eagles the Enemy. But I want to do a check-in, make sure we're all good, see what's going on, see where you guys are at, and see how we can, because really I use this session also to improve our class. So there's a lot we're going to adjust from this. We're going to reflect on the questions so we can become better servants of you guys, because the goal of this class is your growth, your happiness, and your success. With that being said, Kaja, we out of here. See y'all later online. Peace.